still here.
Every hit, every sound, talk it out, lean in, tell me what you saw. This is how we watch it. BC Wrestle Pod. Count it up, star ratings in the group chat. Argue once, laugh it off. Hit play, yeah, we're back at that. Bell to bell, week to week, same energy, new receipt. One more time, spin it back. That detail wasn't random fact. If it worked, say why it did. If it missed, yeah, we'll call that too. Lights on, bell rings, run it back, break it down. From the booking to the finish, every hit, every sound. Talk it out, lean in, tell me what you saw. This is how we watch it. BC Wrestle Pod. Run it back. One more time.
BC Wrestle Pod.
All right, run it. Lights on. Bell rings. Hit play, notes ready, jump right in. Another week, let the breakdown begin. From the opener pop to the main event. What landed clean, what was time is spent? Crowd too quiet, crowd too loud. Ref missed something, we'll talk it out. We don't skip past the weird little beats, that's where the story really speaks.
Fuck! You have to wait 10 seconds.
No, we don't need to anymore. They took off the restrictions, so I got to get in there now.
No,
you know?
we still had to wait, bro.
We're good. We're 3 minutes in. We're good.
He said duck. He said duck. Somebody was throwing something at him. He said duck.
What the fuck, Minnie?
Oh. Anyways, well, I already prepared myself, so we're going to be good for tonight. But hello there, darling internet, and welcome to the BC Wrestle Pod End of 2025 podcast, of course. I got a whole chaotic crew here with me this evening, and hopefully we'll get more folks coming in very shortly. But you are stuck with us, and it's going to be a really good time, I promise. Of course, my name is Mikey. I'm El Jefe of BC Wrestle Pod. You know, I run the 1s and the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, and the 5s and 6s. I try to keep everybody from killing each other, but, you know, I am kind of somewhat successful. No, Andrew, don't report this stream.
Fair.
Why?
I mean, it's going to get reported at some point. I mean, we're terrible people.
We are
I mean, to be fair. Anyways, but I have a cavalcade of individuals joining me this evening, so we're going to quickly do introductions because I promised these folks we're going to stick to 2 hours because I learned my lesson last year. But, you know, right here. Anyways, I'm going to give you the Shakespearean middle finger right here. Anyways, so of course, I'm going to start us off really quickly. I mean, you see these losers every single week anyways, at some point during the week here. So, of course, I got the Pleat Father himself, who is representing the NXT crew with me and the WWE crew. The Kilt Man is in the building. Representing AEW and Mystery Wrestling, he is the Grand Poobah of all the things comedy wrestling, Mr. JVL, who is going by the moniker tonight of Rigatoni Storm, JVL. I swear, if you don't give me a cookbook by the end of 2026, we can't be friends no more.
I'm working on the bindings. We're getting there.
Heck yeah. Of course, we also have one of our newer hosts here, but he is killing it, and he's been here since the summer. Mr. Picnic Basket Jones himself, a boo-boo. Mr. Benny is in the house, who is about to experience a world of chaos. Please don't leave after this. And of course, making his grand return since, I don't know, I'm gonna be real. I think the last time we saw you was for the Y'all in Texas review back in July. I'm gonna be completely honest.
No, I did a few in August, wasn't I? I got to be here. I'll go look.
You have to go look, but the professor is in the building.
Like we would have seen that bald head a couple more times, but I don't remember it.
Very, very true. And
We all
then,
look alike. That's fine.
Yeah, that's true. And then rounding out our regular BC Wrestle Pod boys, of course, this time not from an In-N-Out parking lot, but you know him, you love him, Minnie, who...
Okay, that was one time over a year ago.
With this group, we never let you live anything down, of course. But
Y'all just jealous I got some good burgers, man.
that's very, very true as well. But that's for a whole nother conversation. But tonight... it is a Worlds Collide event of our own because we got two new friendos to the BC WrestlePod community here. It has been a road. The three of us have been talking over the last couple months, and then we finally made it a thing where they were nice enough to let me on to their podcast, and then in return, I wanted them to join our house and the chaos we have. So, first and foremost, I would like to introduce, the co-host of the If We Had the Pencil podcast. Y'all should go check out their stuff, please, because they are also fantastic. Up in the top right corner over here, we have Matt, and then down at the bottom, we have Sean. So, boys, welcome. Happy to have you.
Thank you for
Glad to
having
be
us.
here.
I'm so sorry in advance.
Why?
I'm just
Obviously,
having
you haven't
actual
listened
talent.
to ours yet.
Yeah. We might have to apologize to you.
Touche.
I don't know, for once we might actually have a point of view on something. It'll be great.
Ooh.
Wait, you are you telling me Stone Cold still doesn't wrestle? Oh, wait.
I don't know where you're hearing your stuff from. I'm pretty sure he's wrestling all over the place.
Touche.
Oh, we love it. Of course.
Probably just with the sheets.
This is going to be a really fun time. Of course, we are expecting more folks to join us later, but if not, this is the cavalcade of individuals that you have. So the 8 of us are going to have a good time. Well, technically 7, because one of us has to leave in about an hour. So we're gonna make do. Looking at you, Minnie. Anyways, yes, I'm gonna throw you under the bus. All right, so
At least I'm here.
Are you late for a magic tournament? What's going on?
No, actually.
that was last week. Anyhow, let's get into this because I promised 2 hours and we're not going over. So we're going to do this thing. So if you are new to BC Wrestling Pod, welcome. Hi. You can dig into our archives on the YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. You can also follow us on your social media site of choice at BC WrestlePod. We have merchandise at bcwrestlepodshop.forcewall.com because hurry up. In 2 weeks, all those designs are going bye-bye. Make room for our new collection heading into the new year. And our little friendo, the coffee bot, is going to make an appearance if you want to, support us by helping us keep the metaphorical lights on and also pay for these AEW pay-per-views. Because, listen, I love AEW, but we got to figure something out because I'm willing to shell out $50 for you, but you are the only company still that I got to pay for things. Yes, JVL.
Is this also our swear jar we have to pay into every time Minnie makes a swear?
No, there is no swear jar because y'all know I can't collect money.
We would go fucking broke.
Yeah, I'm already broke.
We all have to pay every time Minnie swears.
You take Apple Pay?
We all have to pay, period.
I'll send
Can
you
I prepay?
Dogecoin. Is Dogecoin still a
Can you
thing? Can I send you Doge?
You like
Because
it?
let's prepay.
Yeah, I only take MLG coin. You gotta be.
Oh my goodness. So this is, so now that that's out of the way, let's get into why we're really here, which is our end of the year podcast. So I have spent the last 3.5 weeks collecting things from individuals because, it's like herding cats. But I finally got everyone to submit a form of their stuff. And I spent all day doing these slides. And I must say, I'm really proud of everything that I accomplished.
I submitted like 10 of them. Did I see the voting? I got confused.
I thought it
Like-
was 1 vote a day. Like, what was that?
Like,
I'm a
this is-
network engineer. I'm a network engineer. Computers are hard.
I know. Listen, Sean, I caught on to the multiple forms that you submitted, and I was just like, and Ixnay, we're not gonna do that.
I'm surprised I remember.
You'll figure out what I meant.
Sure, fine, whatever.
At least
Hey, the first one didn't even let me vote on anything. Thank you, sir. So-
And yes, and I apologized for that, and I fixed my correction. Okay, so Sean, I
fixed
love you.
my correction.
But
Anywho,
suck a duck, my friend. Anywho, listen, I am excited, but I'm going to be very spicy tonight. But it is going to be a good time because we get to talk about the one thing we all love: professional wrestling. Even though sometimes it may not love us back, but we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of professional wrestling in 2025. So the way that it's going to work.
Wait, so it's going to be, we're talking about you, me, and Minnie?
Sure. And we're going to let everyone decide at home which category we fall under.
Well, we all know Minnie's the ugly, so.
Send in your votes now.
Whoa,
folks.
whoa!
There'll be a
I'm the
poll
ugly,
down
I
below.
got hair and teeth. I'm good.
I got hair.
All right.
Right here.
Anyways,
That's true. You do.
So-
You got it.
moving on. So if you are new to our end of the year podcast, we have a couple of categories we're going to look at. And those categories include, the wrestlers of the year, matches of the year, and pay-per-views of the year. So we are going to start with our wrestlers of the year. So there are 3 subcategories for all of this goodness because it is a fun time. And we are going to be discussing and possibly judging everyone's pick for their male/male presenting wrestler of the year. The reason I put that out is because I wanted to encompass everyone and I wasn't sure which wrestlers everyone was going to pick because wrestlers identify as a lot of different things. And let's just get into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read everyone's picks and then we're going to quickly get everyone's input of why they chose that wrestler for their wrestler of the year. And let's get into it. So again, we are starting with male presenting wrestler of the year. And this is a very diversified field. So really quickly, and then we're going to go talking briefly about it. I have selected Bandito. Benny has picked Zack Sabre Jr. Kilt has picked Javon Evans. Minnie has picked Dominic Mysterio. JVL has picked Psycho Mike, which I'm not surprised. JT has picked Leon Slater. Professor has picked Cena. Will has picked Mike Santana. Of course, we have Matt who has picked Gunther, and Sean has picked Braun Breaker. So this is a very eclectic field right here. So
Nobody picked the same wrestler. We all picked a different person.
I know.
Yes.
Impressive, huh?
well,
That's harder to do than actually pick the same person.
We did
Well-
better than every major Fed this year and picked more people to be on the show than they have in the title picture.
Ooh, and that goes for all these companies out here, not gonna lie. Professor, you're gonna hold on to that thought because you're just like, yes, everyone picked a different wrestler for male. That was not the case for the next category, what we're gonna talk about in a little bit.
Ooh.
Because there were some repeats. So I am going to go in order. I will go last because I'm the boss and I can do what I want. But I'm gonna
Yeah, we
start
save
with-
the best for last.
I mean, I don't have a lot
Kiss
to
ass.
say. Ooh. Anywho,
Look, just because I want a little bit of brown nose doesn't mean I'm rubbing off on.
anyways, speaking of which, yeah, so Kilt, I'm gonna start with you. Why don't you give us a quick synopsis as to why Javon Evans is your male wrestler of the year?
Javon, so far from everything I have experienced and seen with him, has been over the top and overperforming. For his age, for his experience level, he is doing a lot. He's been on main roster a couple of times. He's went over to AAA, and he's
Don't hop up and lung down.
He just took his breath away. That's how good he is.
it's so
I know,
bad.
right?
It's great. Now, what's funny is I agree with Leon Slater being on this list because I actually absolutely love Leon Slater, especially when he's partnering up with my boy Javon. But our boy that is so bouncy, he is literally going to be up there. He's going to be further on, and I'm loving everything he's doing. He's great. He's talented. He has good stage presence, and I can't wait to see what he's doing next year and how creative works him into all the stories.
Love that. And again, to speak to it really quickly, the fact that Javon is 21 and he gets to wrestle anywhere and everywhere at this point, this year has been really fun for him. So, same question to you, Matt. I would like you to give me your reasoning as to why Gunther is your wrestler of the year.
Well, first of all, I'm a bias because I'm a big Gunther fan myself, but the guy put over Jay Uso at WrestleMania, then took the title back and still kept Jay looking strong, and then dropped the title again at SummerSlam to Punk. So I think and then he ended up being the final opponent for Cena. So I think Gunther's that guy that's adaptable, that can work with anybody. But I don't think for me he was not a blowaway pick. There's so many other guys that are really catching up, and we're seeing it now. Guys like Braun Breaker and Obafemi, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was a strong thought of mine too. And just for those who don't know, myself and Sean, we only follow WWE main roster. So, and we'll talk about that later with these NXT people because that's how we get excited because it's our first look at them and we're like, ooh, Obafemi, like, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that's my excuse for Gunther. I know it's probably not a popular pick lately, but that's just my cup of tea, and I think he deserves it. I think he's done a lot both ways, winning and putting people over.
Matt, I just want to follow up on this. So you're saying there was a lot of people in the running for you. Did Gunther get pushed ahead for you because he retired Cena? He was the one to do that. If he hadn't have done that this year, would he have been your wrestler of the year?
So honestly, I didn't want Gunther to win that tournament. I really wanted like somebody like a Carmelo Hayes or something like that, or LA Knight when it became the LA Knight. I don't think Gunther needed the tournament. He didn't need to be seen as final guy. But so I think he's that strong where he didn't need it. And then he got it, so I hope they work it right for him. But I just like him because he's a throwback from any era. And I'm an old school fan. And Sean will tell you it was a struggle. It took me many years to kind of like, okay, modern wrestling is cool. It's just different. I have to accept that. So, but I like Gunther because he's best of today, and he would have fit in back in the old days.
Very, very fair. Alrighty. Speaking of which, JVL, I already know why, but I would like you to fill everyone in because Psycho Mike is a specific type of wrestler for a specific type of brand of wrestling. So, JVL, why don't you tell us why Psycho Mike is your male wrestler of the year?
I would gladly do that. One, I love that you're predicting why I liked him the best. This is, for those of you that only follow WWE Deep Dive, I watch Mystery Wrestling, which is Evil Uno's little, like, small offshoot he does on Twitch, up in Canada, in a bingo hall, but it's broadcast because they focus on really good wrestling matches and comedy wrestling, specifically. Psycho Mike is my wrestler of the year because out of all the wrestlers I watch, including on AEW and everything else, he fit every genre. He was the one they put up against every big name that came through, and he could work heel, he could work face, and also work comedy at the same point. He is the most deadpan wrestler you will ever meet. Who one of his like famous things he does is he never loses the hard cam. So he will put somebody in an arm breaker and he's spinning and his eyes are always on you. No matter where he is, continuously moving around the ring, continue to wrench in the arm, not losing it. He went through an entire storyline this year where he found out from a doctor that he was actually DNA of a piece of shit. And he began to go through his psychological mess because of it. He thought he was a cowboy for a while, gave up his finisher, the body slam, to do the lariat because he had to put a cowboy hat on and keep asking the crowd who wants a lariat. He has fought Michael Nakazawa, Tyler Breeze. You know, he's fought Abaddon and a bunch of other big people this year.
He's fought Josh Alexander too.
Josh Alexander. And it's not that he can't wrestle, but he knows the business well enough and how to work a crowd that he can work these comedic things in. He's like the Leslie Nielsen of wrestling. And so I can't say more because he has exploded this year. He's now in Maple Leaf Wrestling. He's done a couple of guest spots
stuff in Maple Leaf, yeah.
He's doing guest spots around the country. AEW is going to bring him in for a run on ROH soon, which is amazing. And he's just really starting to explode there. So Psycho Mike, I'm getting on the bandwagon early. If you get a chance to watch the clips or anything else and just watch this man work, it is ridiculous. He had to, because Tyler Breeze in his last match was a face because he was the incoming guy, he had to come out with the doctor's note and say, for this match only, remember, I'm a piece of shit. And then he did all his heel work.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Bono?
Psycho Mike is great. It's been a
Don't
real
call
blast.
me number 2.
Who does number 2 work for?
Oh Lord, this is great. Alrighty, so Benny, we come to you next, and for your pick, we're traveling all the way to the Tokyo Dome for this one. So why don't you give us your reasoning as to why Zack Sabre Jr. is your male wrestler of the year?
Absolutely. New Japan has sort of been in a down year, and Zach is the reason that they've been able to carry through. Over 2 reigns with the IWGP World Heavyweight title. He's had feuds with the likes of Hiroki Goto, Kenosuke Takeshita, and traveled the belt all over the globe, including a stop at Epi's Big Gay Brunch 10 with a match against Kid Bandit.
Kid Bandit was so good.
So good. And from Korakuen Hall to the Tokyo Dome, Zack Sabre Jr. really put New Japan on his back this year.
Mm-hmm. Not to mention, he is also this year's Tag League champion too, with Ryohei Oiwa too. So that was fun to watch as well. So,
exactly.
Love it. Also, we support Zack Sabre Jr. because he's a fellow member of the community, which we love. It's great. All right,
Absolutely.
Professor, let's shake the rust off here. So I'm very interested in your reasoning. I mean, why don't you tell us why John Cena is your male wrestler of the year?
I've talked about this when I was doing the WWE reviews. Sorry, for 6 months of the year. I didn't really watch the first chunk of John Cena's career. I wasn't watching a lot of wrestling at the time, so getting to revisit why he was so important and what he did was homework for me, and it was a lot of fun. I might be in the minority. I liked the beginning of the heel turn. I liked the huevos it took to go out and just straight up do that and go, "Oh, you're a Make-A-Wish Foundation legend, Guinness Book of World Records for helping kids. Fuck them kids," and just flip around and do it, change.
Yes.
And just be okay with that. But then to go all in on it and invest and do all the theater things he needed to do and have a blast doing it. Granted, and you could talk about his matches and some of the stuff that worked, you know, what do you want to do? I don't know. F5 him for 30 minutes. What do you want to do? But I know they botched the storyline. I know they did a pivot that failed. I know there's stuff that fell apart months 7, 8, 9. I get it. But
You can say it's The Rock's fault.
The Rock. Yes.
I blame Travis Scott.
We'll be here for 6 hours just breaking down what they fucked up, right? But the fact that he still went in and went, you know what? I'm a professional. I'm going to see through to the end of the year. I'm not going to take my toys and go home. I'm not going to go in interviews and blame anybody. If anything, I'm going to call out wrestlers at other promotions and make it look good when he's talking about Claudio and other folks and everything like
Nick Nemeth,
yeah,
Cardona.
Everybody. And then the next day the internet explodes like, oh yeah, they've been friends forever. So it was very meta, and I love the meta stuff. I love when it works, and I like that Cena leaned into that the second half of the year. Also, we could talk about the matches. I did the homework. I've been watching stuff when I can. I know he was broken, and I know he came out and said, hey, you guys, I can't do what I used to do. I'm going to do everything that I can. I'm going to be close. I'm going to try. I'm going to this. I'm going to that. So we all wanted Super Cena a bunch of times, but even he was like, I can't. So he played the long game and not going out and, hurting himself. Granted, he's got movies to make, so fine. But still gave everything he could to the fans and to the business, and ended the way he would have wanted. Hey, I'm going to put over the heel that you need to move forward, do the company thing, the storyline thing. I'm not sure why he smiled like he paid for it, but some people are into that thing. But he
I said he looked like the son from Teletubbies.
I mean, if your last match is being choked out by an Austrian daddy, you've done something good. So,
Tinky Winky.
Tinky Winky. Benny's all about it. No, so I think that's fun, and I think as far as careers and whatever else goes, now you can go. Oh, maybe Cena's on that Mount Rushmore because of everything he did before this, but the way his last year went and how we talked about him, the risks he took and what he did and what he reminded us of and how he helped people, all that stuff, that's fun to me. Granted, I wanted to pick an up-and-comer. I wanted to pick someone else who was doing work. I really like Ubafemi because, I know the NXT. I really liked Bandito and what my Dana was doing too, but by the end, it was like, well, that's the one that just rises to the top for me.
Love it. Alrighty, Sean, it is now your pick. Let's go with the Braun Breaker of Breakers. Why don't you tell us why Braun Breaker is your male wrestler of the year?
Because I have test anxiety, and I got a piece of paper that said pick one, and I look at this list, and I'm like, well, I could have picked that one and that one. All right, so I'm gonna give an honorable mention to a couple that's already on the list. So, to the point about John Cena, I'm gonna say this: I wouldn't pick him simply because the whole year has been about him, and it's almost like manufacturing your person of the year. It's like we're just gonna expose you until you pick this guy. So that's why not Cena, but honorable mention.
And
my dog just took out my camera.
John Cena heard you and straight up slapped your camera.
I didn't see him.
Now we literally can't.
No,
now we literally can't see Sean. You can't see him. Be like,
because my dog busted through the damn. You know what? Let me unask myself, and then you guys move on.
Just put it. Sean will concur while he's resetting up. We really go a single episode without some type of crazy technical issue, internet dropping out, ring lights falling over, computers falling over. So
you're right at home with us then, because somebody's always having tech issues.
We had to bring our techie magic with us. So
usually it's you though, Mikey.
Tony Khan sent lightning to JVL's house once. It was terrifying.
Crazy.
All right, I've semi-fixed myself.
So John Cena now because of that hell happened.
No. What do I care? He's retired now. And by the way, Matt, no, Gunther doesn't get honorable mention. Anyways, no, but to recency bias, because I was just watching AAA before we started this, I could see Javon Evans, but I think it's going to sound counterintuitive to my pick, but he's kind of up and coming, and I like what I've seen so far. But if you were going to talk to me about somebody on the rise, then yeah. I have to really, really, really give Dominic Mysterio his props and an honorable mention to him, because honestly, that would have been pick number 2 for me. He's had a brilliant year. Brilliant. And then, all right, the why Braun Breaker. Because we got to watch over the course of this year them literally strap a rocket ship to somebody and watch him grow into something. And right at the very end of this year, so this month, he's cutting promos that are worth a damn. Honestly, in my opinion, he's out promoting Punk.
Yes, sir.
And watching that growth all the way through and just becoming the guy, he was my guy of the year just because I liked watching the growth and the trajectory and everything with him this year. Mostly as a character, to be honest. You kind of went from, here's a guy, and now we got him cutting killer promos and everything else. So,
and he's about to fight Punk for this title come the new year too. So,
God, I hope he wins.
Paul Heyman does things for your career. I don't know.
That's
pretty good. I like he does good math too. I like his math.
We'd love to see it.
Bro's converting minutes and seconds, man. It was
crazy. All right. Speaking of Dirty Dominic Mysterio, Minnie, that is your pick. So why don't you tell us why Dirty Dom is your male wrestler of the year?
Because he's the king of the luchadors. Like it's
Oh my
exactly what he is, you know? He's the current intercontinental champion, he's the AAA world champion. What else could you ask for this dude? He's had an insane year. He's bagged Liv Morgan. Come on, man. Like he's the real leader of the Judgment Day. He's always been the real leader of the Judgment Day. You know, he's been great. Dominic's had an insane year. Everything he does, I enjoy when he comes out there. And his year has been incredible. Watching him come up, remember watching him with his feud with Edge back in the day to where he is now. Insanely talented. He works, does what he has to do. His year's been fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not to mention that he's ending this year, like you said, Intercontinental Champion and the AAA Mega Champion too. So that's a lot of fun. Alrighty, so I will close this out, and then I'm going to quickly talk about everybody else's picks who weren't here because they also had some fun picks. My male wrestler of the year happens to be Bandito, the current Ring of Honor World Champion, as well as former AEW Tag Team Champion. I'm not going to lie, full transparency here. I've always liked Bandito, but he really didn't pop up on my radar until he won that Ring of Honor World Championship against Chris Jericho this year at AEW Dynasty, which we've already discussed how much I hated the convolutedness that match was, where he lost and then they restarted and then he won, but it is what it is. But ever since then, AEW has kind of just speaking of putting a rocket on somebody, Bandito has had such a great year. Not only, like I said, not only was he AEW Tag Team Champion with my baby daddy Brody King, but the amount of times he's been in CMLL and putting on like nuts, like crazy matches with the roster down in CMLL. And to boot, he's just an amazing human being, so I can never be mad at him too. But he's had an incredible year, and he's had some incredible matches against some really, really good talent this year, which I'm going to talk about one of those when we get to our match of the year. But it also helps. I'm biased too because, you know, Viva la raza puro mi gente. Like, I'm Mexican, he's Mexican, I'm Latino, like all the way. Got to support my wrestlers like that. But I really love Bandito. He's really, really fun, and I can't wait to see where 2026 takes him. All right, really quickly, I do want to go into everybody else's picks who aren't here. So like I mentioned, JT picked Leon Slater, the current TNA X Division champion. I want to remind everyone that Javon Evans and Leon Slater just turned 21 this year. And the fact that they're already doing crazy stuff and getting to go around the world to wrestle, with Javon going to AAA and Leon Slater getting to pop up into Progress and the other UK wrestling scene is great. And even though was not my match of the year because it was really close, though, Leon versus Javon at Bound for Glory is where I was just like, oh, this is going to be great. And it's been really fun to watch JT fall in love with, as a new fan of TNA and a new fan to Leon Slater. Really, really cool. I got to mention and shout out Papa also Will. He has picked Mike Santana, and Mike Santana, you know, it has been a struggle. We have gone with the ups and downs in TNA and how Mike Santana has been booked, and they kept playing the long game with him where he's gotten close but never was able due to shenanigans or because it was triple threat to being able to take the title off of Trick Williams. And it was so satisfying at Bound for Glory to watch Mike Santana take the title off of Trick Williams to become TNA World Champion for 30 days before losing it to Frankie Kazarian. I don't want to go into it. We're still mad about that. But he's also had some really good feuds this year. I think, I'm going to be completely honest, I think my favorite feud this year was him and Mustafa Ali earlier this year in TNA. They had a hell of a feud, and it was really, really good. Alrighty. I also want to mention Jesse, who has made a whole video, which that video gets uploaded tomorrow. He did a 10-minute video breaking down his picks, but he has gone with Sami Zayn. Of course, you know, with Jesse, it has been an up and down year with the Fed for him, but he's gone with Sami Zayn, especially when him and Kevin Owens had that killer match at Elimination Chamber, which was nuts, which was a lot of fun. But guys, even though he's not here tonight, y'all know Andrew could not show us up. So I just want to let's just go over here. I know he's in the chat, but let me tell you, he made his own slides. So Andrew's Wrestler of the Year is GCW Ultraviolet Champion Matt Tremont, which no surprise there. He has won the GCW Ultraviolet Championship with 24 defenses. He won the Tournament of Survival X. He's also currently JCW Heavyweight Champion, and he has challenged for the GCW World and Tag Team Championships. And this year alone, he has had 82 matches with 36 title defenses, and he has established himself as the pillar of GCW and a legend of deathmatch wrestling. So Andrew's going to be our deathmatch person as we go into this, because he does all the independents with me with GCW and Defy, which is really, really fun. So yeah, alrighty. So now we're going to get into our second category for wrestlers. This one is female or female presenting wrestler of the year. This one's a little bit more smaller because there was a lot of repeats people had. So I am going to, go over them really quickly. So these are the picks for female wrestler of the year. Myself and Andrew have selected Mercedes Moné. We have a three-way tie with Benny Kilt and JVL picking Timeless Tony Storm. We have Sean and Matt picking Becky Lynch. Minnie has gone with Liv Morgan. JT and Will have selected current TNA Knockouts World Champion Liang Li. And Professor has picked La Primera herself, Stephanie Vaquer. We're going to go in reverse order for this one. Minnie, I know she's been missing for like a good chunk of the year, but why is Liv Morgan your female wrestler of the year?
She started the year off as champion, was a multi-time tag champion. Then she went out, came back. It's the reason why Don was able to beat John Cena to get his title back. Come on. And then just her coming back has, for me, boosted Raw to be a way better of a program. And I was there for her first Raw back on programming because I went to that Raw in Phoenix. So just she's had an insane year, but pre and then post. It sounds like they already have big plans for her. It was hard for me. I was stuck. Stephanie was also up there. And I also want to say Tony Storm, because I was able to see her wrestle live as well.
Yeah.
So I did check a little bit what was going on with some of that stuff. So, but I decided to go with Liv. And I feel like her year's just, the rest, her 2026 is just going to get even better. So I'm just hoping she can stay healthy.
Yes, we don't want people getting super injured before Rumble season. It's the worst. Alrighty.
He's right. He's elevated that. She has elevated the tag team division as well as the women's division. So yeah, the women's division on Raw is smoking right now because Liv's back.
Big time.
Yeah.
Well, I would also say that everyone's anticipating when she's going to turn on Roxanne finally too. So you've got the built-in afterwards. So you've got a whole year's worth of creative waiting for you, which is awesome.
Which we love. Alrighty, so this is going to be the first of our multi-person picks. So, of course, the besties, Sean and Matt, both of you have selected Becky Lynch as your female wrestler of the year. So, tangentially, together, why don't you two tell us why Becky is your female wrestler of the year?
All right. So, from my perspective, she was the go-to for everything this year. You got a returning legend that needs to knock off ring rust. She did it with Nikki Bella. She did it with AJ Lee. So it's like, and maybe Trish Stratus wasn't now, but you get my point. But my point is that when you needed that go-to for the person to kind of make that person that got some ring rust, but they got to get that rust off, but they still got to look functional, they went to Becky Lynch. You got some young talent that you're trying to put over and look great. You got Becky Lynch. I think she did, she did that multiple times. She's doing it right now too. She, for crying out loud, she made Maxine Dupree look like a freaking megastar. So like, that's just my take. Like, I felt like anything meaningful, and it was kind of, for the female wrestlers this year, she was the one taking it for the team, in my opinion. Like, I'm going to take one for the team, but I'm going to get this person over. And it's been like that all year long for her. And she's been great. Even it's her best heel run ever, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Basically, to piggyback on Sean, all that plus this heel persona, like when she slapped Punk, it was a big moment. Some of the her losing her mind. Now she's like not going to be on Raw because she wants to sue everybody. It's just brilliant because she's like angry and bitter and entitled but like falling apart all at once. And before Seth got hurt, it was Sean and I used to crack up. I used to think it was hilarious. They'd be in the backstage and Becky just be ranting. And Sean's just like, Seth is just sitting there, thinking about his next opponent, and you could just like telling Sean, I'm just waiting for him to turn around and just be like telling her just to shut the fuck up, like like will you just stop? Like go have a meltdown elsewhere. And I thought she was so good at just playing like that crazy angry character. And then again, her unselfishness, I think, in the ring. I thought this run, she's been fantastic. So super entertaining, and yeah, keep it going. That's why that was my reason for the pick for Becky.
We love to see it. Thank you too. All righty, Professor. La Primera, Stephanie Vaqued. I mean, go for it. Tell us why she is your female wrestler of the year.
Yeah, we've been talking about her for. I can pick Toni Storm every year, so I had to challenge myself not to. By the way, we've been talking about her for a long time. She has more wins than any other superstar in the WWE. She has 31 since her push started, which is insane. I just double checked that to make sure I wasn't pulling that out of said butthole. The more I researched her and looked into her story and other things, she was, sleeping on the floors of restaurants to do her training. Like this, the story and everything. And just to see her do it her way, she was told she wasn't good enough when she was doing things in other promotions. But we were talking about her over at AEW, like, what are they going to do? Are they going to this? Are they going to that? We were terrified she'd go to WWE and they just fumble it. And I'm not saying it's been perfect, but they got her that championship. They chose her, and she's run with it, and she's done great matches. I've gone back to watch things, like I said. She's fun to watch. She's a blast. I'm pulling for her. I still see her as that underdog, even though she's really not. She's proved herself. But when I think of who did I have the most fun watching and catching up with while I was watching WWE, it was her matches and what she was doing and what she was pulling out. So super fun.
Yeah, I mean, her story is incredible. If anybody wants to take the time to learn about it too, being, wanting to do wrestling, and a girl, again, she's from Chile, so the wrestling scene is not as prominent in South America as it is here, but she worked her way up, and honestly, she's probably the most seasoned woman wrestler period in all of WWE.
Like, she's been doing this forever. But
she's already wrestled around the world. She's wrestled in the UK, Japan, Mexico, South America. Like, she is well seasoned, and I'm very happy that she finally got to achieve, because she said she's always wanted to go to the Fed. Now, of course, we talked about when she initially first, because that also left, certain companies in the lurch a little bit. But honestly, I'm really happy to see her be here. Jesse, I hate you for this comment. Barbecue season or carne asada. I hate you. I love you too.
Wait. Is he talking about the butthole or
no? Anyways, but no, Stephanie Vaqued has had a really fun year. Alrighty, this one is going to be a fun one. So let's go to our triple selection. So Benny, JVL, and Kilt, the three of you have selected the timeless one, Toni Storm, as your female wrestler of the year. So I'm going to start with you, Benny. So Ben, and then we'll go JVL and Kilt. The three of you can figure out how you want to work this. But why is Timeless Toni? Oh, those nuts cracking were crazy. Why is Timeless Toni Storm your female wrestler of the year?
Well,
because she's voted.
Representation.
That's true.
What's that?
Ignore Minnie. Continue, Benny.
Okay. First off, representation matters, and having a queer presenting character on television in these dark times is amazing. Secondly, she's Toni Storm, so she's like just amazing in ring, and she has this ridiculous, over-the-top character. Like, what else would you want? Like, she really turned into like AEW's Stone Cold in a way, like in that, like, you had to tune in just to see what she was gonna do or say, like every week this year. So yeah, she's timeless.
She really is. She's also now turned into Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and I'm here for it. All right, JBL. What do you have to add on to the timeless one?
Well, the biggest thing was, like, as Professor said, you could name her for the last 3 or 4 years as being kind of like Woman of the Year and presenting Wrestler of the Year. My big thing this year is that she was coming off such a huge run last year where she was building up and building up and building up and building up this great duo with Mariah May and like really selling the character to the point, as Benny said, I would rather watch the matches sometimes that she was commentating on than the matches in the ring. And she maximized her time when, you know, Tony Khan notoriously would only give the women one match and one promo a night for a while there. She would maximize that, not just for herself, but everyone she was involved with, brought them all on board. But then you get the Mariah May blow off, and you think, oh no, where are we going to go from here? The big, there's no character change. What's going to happen? She then pivots, takes a step back, doesn't lose the core of who she is, but understood how to use it now to not just run the women's division, but to spread it out. Mm-hmm. And so she, and unlike some of the other people, the Stone Cold thing is apt. Unlike John Moxley, who was being pushed as a Stone Cold on the other side, she doesn't bleed when she breathes. She bleeds when there's a reason. So, you know, she was the underpinning and foundation that allowed AEW to experiment with everything else going on for the rest of the year, where it started to have that run mid-year up until the end of the year this year. So I have to give her that much credit. She was AEW for so long.
Love it. And Kilt, any additional thoughts?
As someone who literally only came on last year just to pay attention to main roster and pretty much main roster only, getting the snippets and everything that I could see of Toni Storm made me want to choose her over everyone else. As much as I love La Primera, she's an amazing wrestler and she has amazing matches. Toni has, as her moniker says, timeless. It is a constant. She's on my FYP almost weekly. Like at one point it was daily because of everything that she was doing. Every little thing, it was as JVL said, it was maximized as much as she could. And I'm floored by everything that she's been doing. Even, glancing at it from a distance as I do on main roster and on NXT, and not even touching AEW, it's still amazing, and she deserves these kudos very much.
100%. And I still hold to the fact I think Toni is a theater kid, because I was just like, she is just chewing up the scenery, and we love to see it. Alrighty, so I really quickly want to give Jesse and Will and everybody else's pick. So Jesse has gone with Maxine Dupree, and that's in part due to, her Intercontinental Championship win. But the fact of how much growth and improvement that she's had over this year alone, too, is really, really great to see, which has been really fun to see. And I was just like, I think her being trained, like behind the scenes, being trained by Natty has definitely helped. I mean, I'm really loving the vignettes that we got leading into her match against Becky and afterwards, where she's training in the dungeon with Natty, which has been really, really fun for both of them. So I'm really proud of Maxine.
She's getting trained by Natty Neidhart version of her, the one that goes on the blood sport, beats the fuck out of people.
God, it's so good.
I want that. I can't wait until that one shows up in WWE.
God, listen, WWE, I want Natty, not Natalia. I'm just putting it out there. So
Max.
That's so good.
TKO shareholders, get out of your own way.
For reals. Anywho. So JT and Will have gone with our current TNA World Knockouts champion, Liang Li. Not only is she TNA's first ever Chinese women's champion of the company's history, which is really, really fun. Presentation is on fire. Her ability to mix, she and Shayna Baszler should say, share the category of taking an actual mixed martial art and being able to turn it and making it work for wrestling. And again, also her story is really, really cool. She left her home country and she's been at this for 9 years. And this is her first women's world champion, any promotion ever that she's been a part of. And so she is fantastic. I'm really hoping that TNA's Knockouts division has been a struggle this year with certain people, contracts are up leaving to go to the Fed. Also, there was a certain DV investigation that was also going on too with another certain wrestler who was the current, who, you know, was poised to get that championship back. And then we had the unfortunate timing of Ash by Elegance, who was women's champion during the fall, have to vacate it because she can no longer compete in the ring due to, you know, injuries and all that. So shout out to Ash. We love you. And so the Knockouts division was kind of in a struggle. And I think putting the title on Liang Li has been a breath of fresh air, because also we've had to go through the summer of NXT holding that and the men's title hostage, which has been an interesting year for that as well. But I'm really happy to see for her. And then finally, Andrew and I have picked Mercedes Moné. And I have to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of Mercedes and, you know, last year. But I think this year, I'm a sucker for the belt collector gimmick. Like, it's ridiculous. And one thing that I really, really love is like, is it kind of ridiculous she has all these belts? Yes. Is it fun storytelling? Absolutely. Because she has all these belts and she still can't get the big one. Not only could she not beat Timeless Toni Storm for the AEW's Women's World Championship, she couldn't get it done against Chris Statlander either. And then yesterday, she lost the Rev Pro, the two, you know, British championships that she was holding to Alex Windsor on Collision. But in every single match and every single time, it's not like Mercedes wins these belts and we never see her. She's always traveling the world. She's defending all these titles when she can. And I'm just gonna let Andrew slide to speak for itself. With her titles, all of them, she's had 47 matches in 2025, 33 of them being title defenses. She's also had 3 tournament, you know, matches, and all this is across 11 promotions. So she has wrestled in every single promotion she holds this title for all this year. She is traveling the world. She is also the PW, you know, the PW's #1 female wrestler of the year as well. So I wasn't a big fan of Mercedes, but I think that this year the storytelling in AEW, but she also has done a really good job of putting all these women on these smaller promotions over too, which includes the likes of like Rio. I mean, she's not independent, but like Alex Windsor, you know, it's been really, really fun to watch it. And I love it. And so that is why Mercedes Moné is my female wrestler of the year. And it happens to be Andrew's as well.
This is this is probably Andrew's most mainstream pick of all the picks that Andrew's gonna have.
Honestly. Yeah, so, but which is saying something, because that's the impact that Mercedes has really put in the work this year. And I've really, again, that's all I have to say. We could be here for hours to talk about how I think it's unfair that she gets this hate for being the belt collector, but when Kenny Omega did it like 2 years ago, no one had an issue with it. But that's a whole nother thing. We don't have time, JVL. We'll make that a topic for another time. Alrighty, let's get into the final category of the wrestlers. So this is the one to watch. So this is somebody that we're looking forward to seeing do big things or do bigger things in 2026. And this is also a very eclectic pool ranging from all the stuff. So in a 3-way pick, myself, Kilt, and JT have gone with the youngest in charge, Leon Slater. Benny has picked Miss Janai Kai, which I really love this pick. It's so fantastic. Matt has gone with Carmelo Hayes, which, pending with spoilers, non-spoken, like that's going to be crazy.
Yep.
Sean has gone with Sol Ruka, so it's like our girl, love her. Minnie has gone with Mr. Braun Breaker. JVL once again leaning into the comedy wrestling, Mr. Cecil Nix. Can't wait to see that. Professor, I love you for when you submit your forms because you were very thorough, and I got a kick out of your pick for one to watch. Obviously, I was not going to put the first one that you put down because I was just like, what the flip was this? So surprisingly, I'm excited to see you give me your reasoning why NXT Shiloh Hall is your one to watch. And then, of course, Papa also has selected from CMLL Uthani, which I'm excited to talk about for him. I'm going to save this for last. We're going to work backwards. Minnie, Braun Breaker, tell us, why is he one to watch in 2026?
I mean, why not watch him? The dude's
That's true.
poised for. He has a world title shot beginning of the year.
Mhm.
I think he's just going to continue to get shot up there. And at the same time, his promo in Phoenix, straight out just called Seth Rollins a bitch. So he's going after every top dog in the company right now with the stable, which they're putting him in charge of. I feel like Braun at 2026, he will be a world champion.
Heck yeah.
And he's gonna be. He's got to get rid of that bronze ass weird tan he has. He comes out with, and then he'll be just great.
Looks like he's got jaundice.
I kid you not. The running gag that we have is like, Braun, we love you, but your name is Braun Breaker, not Bronze.
Bronze.
Breaker, okay.
Bronze Breaker.
It comes off as you look at him. It's like, oh, why is it on me? I'm not even there.
I was just like, it is ridiculous. I'm like, Braun, we love you, but you got to hire a new spray tan person. Like, we got to figure this out.
Or he just has to wrestle Cody Rhodes at all times because both of them will have their spray tan come off.
I love it. I really, really do. Alrighty, Sean. I am very excited because I love her. And we got to, me and Minnie and my good friend Uriel, when we went to Stand and Deliver when Mania was at the SoFi Stadium, we got to actually have a conversation with Sol Ruka's parents. Her character is literally her parents. They are actual like surfer folks, which is really, really great. But why don't you tell me why Sol Ruka is the one to watch in 2026?
All right, so here we go. Context for everybody. Like Matt said, we don't watch NXT. We only watch main roster, right? And it's a big deal for us because when we see the call-ups come, it's a fresh look, right? Like I haven't been watching them in NXT. I haven't seen them kind of progress and everything else. So when they come up to the main roster, we get a nice fresh look at them. So I have managed to see Sol Ruka get called up a few times, and I just see talent oozing off that girl. Oozing. It is beyond ridiculous how talented she is. And you know how you can look at somebody and go, that's going to be something special coming. And I just, if we're going to say ones to watch, and I want to touch on something because I kind of noticed in all our picks, and I don't know if anybody's picked up on it, at least it related to WWE. We're in a good time right now of WWE is actually in a transition to the younger. We're on the precipice. So like we saw it when it went Attitude Era, then Ruthless Aggression, then PG. We're in that transition to a new era, and you're good. And it kind of ties into ones to watch, right? Like Carmelo Hayes, that was my number 2, right? Braun Breaker, all these young talents. And if you start looking across the roster and what matches you're seeing now, outside of the geezers at the top of the card, you're CM Punks and whatnot, you're seeing a lot of the younger talent starting to get showcased, which to me indicates like, hey, we're going to see that transition. And I think Sol Ruka is going to be on the front of it.
Well said, Sean.
Yes, we love it. Support the besties. No, but Sol Ruka is an amazing talent. She's been really fun to watch in NXT. And again, she is just as sweet. Her parents are just as sweet. And I wish nothing but success for her. Also, just because it's us, I really love this power dynamic between her and Zarya. They make one hell of a tag team. They're so good. And that feud is going to be awesome when that eventually happens. All right, Professor, I'm very curious to see how this one goes for you. So, NXT Shiloh Hall, I would like you to tell me how this going to work because technically he's had one match. He's about to have another one next week. He's had an interesting story getting here. So why don't you tell me why Shiloh Hall is your one to watch in 2026?
Because it's literally one to watch in 2026, and he had a match just now in December 2025. So he will quite literally have matches
logic
all throughout 2026.
Hey, you know what?
Started.
I'll take it.
I like his thinking.
I'm just saying.
I approve.
I love that he was Undertaker's big pick for LFG. I only watched a few highlights from LFG. I hate reality shows in general, but I was introduced to Shiloh because of his dark web videos and his AI robot and some of the dark stuff he was doing on Instagram a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then just a year and a half ago talking about, hey, I'm a wrestler. I'm trying to work on this. Hey, someday I'll be in the OW. like just a very casual, he played football at Stanford. He was trying to turn his life around. He lived in a shitty apartment. He was doing indies. And then out of nowhere, he did the dark web thing, which got him underground famous. But then all of a sudden he was booking these things. He wasn't talking about it. He's like, hey, I can't tell you. Hey, I can't tell you. LFG hits. He wins it, whatever that means in reality TV terms.
He gets an NXT contract, yeah.
Gets the NXT contract. Has his match just a week or two ago against, I don't know that guy's name.
Lexus King, the
Lexus
world's
King. Thank
most
you.
awful beard ever.
I.e. Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, Brian Pillman Jr.
They were super solid in the match that I saw. It was short, but it was still like, oh, cool. He's showing me something. The Undertaker goes out and calls it the toothless aggression era. It's like, oh, because
missing a couple
like Sean was saying, the Undertaker knows, like, here are the young kids. Here's the transition. It's coming. And I'm really excited to see what he does and if he could do crazy, weird, dark shit, big Viking, scary, brooding characters, because those are the fun ones that I like. Besides the goofy wrestling for life. But I want to see him do cool shit. I think he's poised to do it. So he will do more in 2026. By default, I made a good pick.
I'm curious what your other pick was now.
Some obscure guy wearing a taco mask, doing a flying squirrel off the top rope that only JVL knows about.
I kid you not. That is what he put. And I was like, we're going to go with Shiloh. Alrighty. So, Benny, I really love your pick because I am also a big fan of the kick demon, Miss Janai Kai. So why don't you tell me why Janai Kai is one to watch in 2026?
Yeah. As we all know, the old adage, styles make bites, right? And what better than a Muay Thai kickboxer that has sort of incorporated that style into a pro wrestling ring. And she just looks like a killer. She holds herself like a killer. And there was a lot of people I really wanted to put on here, but I wanted to give the spotlight to an up and coming female wrestler. That isn't on the mainstream, and
That's true.
I don't know. I just love it. Like from Bloodsport to MLW.
She's had some killer matches this year for sure.
she's just amazing. I've gotten the chance to see her live, and she's just as impressive live. So check her out if you guys can.
Listen, Independence, MLW, whatever you want to do. I need her versus Kid Bandit immediately right now. I'm just saying. Anyways, alrighty, JVL.
Yes.
We love it. All right, going back into the mystery wrestling playpen for this one. Cecil Nix. Why don't you tell us why Cecil is your one to watch in 2026?
Well, because I forgot about the guy in the taco mask doing, a bunch of backflips off the thing. I'm sorry, John. I forgot about that one. Cecil Nix, if you've seen any clips from Mystery Wrestling anywhere on the internet this year, Cecil Nix is probably in them. He has done every type of match they've asked of him, from Lego bricks death match against, I forget who he was up against there. He's done full-on death matches where someone was supposed to die that was interrupted by a future version of that wrestler that then killed himself so that the match could end so the original wrestler wouldn't leave. He's run people out of town. He's dressed up as a hot dog and fought a guy dressed in a bunch of tinfoil hat and his partner is Sasquatch.
Oh,
He's
that
done it
guy.
all.
This guy.
Is he the guy that jumped through the door when they did the Eddie Guerrero
Yep.
spot?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he
My
is.
favorite clip from Mystery Wrestling.
Cecil Nix has had an amazing 2025, but the reason I'm saying he's the one to watch next year is he has set up a long-running storyline in Mystery Wrestling this year with his tag team partner, best friend, kissing buddy, enemy, London Lightning, to the point where he ran him out of Mystery Wrestling for 6 months. London Lightning came back last month at Mystery Wrestling. Cecil Nix saved him and walked out of the ring, did not want to embrace this. He has worked such an amazing style, both comedy and not, and I don't want to spoil what I'm talking about. He's in my match of the year for a reason, But the man who looks like he's your dumpy neighbor that takes out your trash is one of the most athletic and gifted little wrestlers in all of Quebec right now. I can't say enough. Go back and watch everything this man has done.
100%. And if I remember correctly, he's been wrestling for a very long time too.
He's been.
I found old school pictures. I was
years.
like, I found old school pictures on the internet when I was doing this. I was like, what's up? Will, get your ass in here. I'm just saying, bro, get in here. Anyways, love you, Will. Alrighty. So let's keep this train going. So Matt, you have picked Mr. Carmelo Hayes as your one to watch in 2026. Why don't you tell us why he is one to watch?
When he came up on the main roster, they kind of had him, wasn't really doing a lot, that he was doing a little bit of stuff with Miz. And when Sean and I did our podcast and they first started the Vision, and we were talking about younger talent being in the Vision, I'm like, I would put Carmelo Hayes in the Vision because you got two power guys between Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I said, then you could have that guy like Carmelo could fly around. Well, that didn't work out. And then, I thought it'd be a good idea for him to have a long run in the tournament and possibly be Cena's last opponent, especially if Cena was going to be like the IC title holder at the end, whatever. And so I think, the matches that he's had, like against Dragunov and with Dragunov, against all the DIY, I mean, he's just phenomenal. And I think they're going to give a big push. And we're not going to talk about the spoilers that we will not mention. So, but definitely that dude just he excites me. Like when I see him on TV, I'm like, all right, like it's got to be something good. So, and he's even when he's only had a minute backstage, Sean and I talk about this a lot, like making the most of your time. If you don't get a lot of time, he does that. And then when he gets his opportunity in the ring, he always looks great. So that's the one to watch next year.
100%. And, I've been a big fan of Melo since the NXT days. And I mean, Minnie, you and I got to see Melo live because he and Braun Breaker were main eventing Stand and Deliver that year too. So it was really fun to watch that match.
Remember when the best part of SmackDown was just him and Andrade doing
the best of 7 series
for 3 months, and we were still like, yeah, all of these are good. Yeah, I love it.
It's so good. Alrighty, so let's round this out a little bit. So it is a 3-person pick for the youngest in charge, Leon Slater. So myself, JT, and Kilt have selected TNA current X Division champion, Leon Slater, as the one to watch. Kilt, I am going to have you go first because, again, you are newer to Leon. I am biased because I've been following Leon since progress. So why don't you tell us why Leon is one to watch in 2026?
So far, every single match I've seen him in has been amazing. He's great when he's tagged up with Javon. He's great by himself. He's high flying. He's going places. He's been in Progress, TNA, NXT, AAA. I think he might have snuck into the main roster at WWE at one point, just like hiding somewhere. Like this kid,
you can call him a kid. He's only 21.
I know. I want to call him a kid. I want to, but I can't. He is phenomenal. He's high flying, fast moving. He's gonna go so far, and I'm excited for every chance I get to see him. Just like Javon, just like Sol Ruka, who was my second choice. I will say, because I've gotten to watch Sol Ruka a lot this year. I love everything Sol's doing. I love everything she's doing with Zarya. Especially when they teased the betrayal. That was interesting to say the least. It's great. I'm enjoying myself a whole lot. For any of us, I want to mention this one moment. One of the TikTokers that I know in TTRPG space, Maisie Lynn, just recently dyed her hair blonde and looks just like Sol Ruka.
We love to see it. So,
and I'm like, it's great. But anyway, going back to Leon.
How dare you? I'm just kidding.
I can't help it. I'm talking about like 5 different
Leon
people right now.
Together all the time is crazy.
It's great, and I mean, I like when they teased their feud a couple of times, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go against each other." They're like friendly rivals. I love it. It's great. I want to see a little bit more of that dynamic
Mm-hmm.
of, hey, we had to fight against each other. All right, what's up? Let's go. Let's have fun. I like to see that, but I also like to see what they are going to do. This is the future of wrestling. When we are old as shit and can't watch a TV without glasses 6 times the size of my monitor, which I have a 32
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Yeah.
What'd you say there?
What?
Slater and
Do you
Evans
see
are
these?
they're younger than all my kids.
Wow, 4 fingers.
I have 5 kids. They're younger than all of them.
That's
So,
really-
yeah.
it's crazy.
I
out
feel
here.
old. I feel freaking
Hey, let's review one very important fact. I also feel old, especially when I start talking about things from 2010 and 2011. And so it's like, oh yeah, I was in 3rd grade. I'm like, fuck you.
Minnie, like we already know this problem. Me and you are the youngest on this podcast.
It's weird. I've been watching wrestling since 2002, and I'm one of the youngest.
You just turned 26.
Oh my god.
Superstar Billy Graham was world champion when I first started watching.
Damn.
Jesus.
We love to see it. So I'm not going to
That's
go
pretty
into
great,
too
though.
much-
I love to see it too, but I need glasses. So
So,
Y'all laugh
Get the
now.
wieners out.
Time's coming.
yeah,
I mean,
There's
I'm
a reason why I upgraded to a 32-inch monitor.
like John Cena. You can't.
I don't
see
dare touch
anything.
my camera, but I have an 86-inch in my freaking in this room right now. Actually, I have 2 TVs, a 65 and an 83. It was 83. My bad, but yeah.
So
nerd.
Kilt, I love your reasoning, and of course, I don't have too much to say. I've been Leon Slater like from day one, from his stint when he was wrestling in the UK at 18. Again, Leon Slater falls into like the Roxanne Perez category, where as soon as they were like pubescent preteens, they've been training. And again, I love Leon Slater. It's just him and his mom and his sister and his nan. So it has been a journny from last year to this year to finally see Leon Slater hold championship gold in TNA has been really good. His match with Javon Evans is probably one of my favorite matches in TNA this year. And then again, him and Javon teaming up has been really, really fun. And Javon and Leon Slater are going to be what I equate, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to, where these two are best friends and they're going to fight forever until they can no longer fight no more. Like I can see them fighting all the time, and it's going to be really, really good. And then from my perspective too, JT also picked Leon Slater. As a wrestling fan, it's really fun to watch people be exposed to new wrestlers and then fall in love with, their athleticism and their character work, because it's something that we all love to do. And so watching JT also celebrate with us over the summer when Leon finally won that X Division championship was so much fun, and he's been nonstop. Honestly, he has yet to main event a pay-per-view so far, but his opponents and his matches against the people he's gone up against since becoming TNA X Division champion has been great. And I'm hoping and I'm praying to the wrestling gods that the Fed will allow AJ Styles and Javon to go one-on-one. That is one match I need to see. Like, pass that torch to Leon Slater for reals. Anyways, so really quickly to kind of go over everyone else's pick. Jesse kind of cheated a little bit, and he picked 2 wrestlers, 2 to watch for 2026. The first one is, of course, now that he's I don't fall in love. Shut up, Jesse. You fall in love too. Don't lie. But no, Jesse has gone with 2. He has picked Killer Cross, especially now that he's back on the independent scene. He's been kind of giving it a tear. But the one that I am most excited about for Jesse, and I'm also excited for, is The Righteous. So, Vincent and Dutch, they are currently in a feud with the Hardys in TNA right now. It has not been made official yet, but I think those tag team championships are going to be on the line. Hardys versus The Righteous. It's been a really great time. And I swear, TNA, you need to sign The Righteous, because Jesse is inching ever so closer to wanting to watch TNA on a regular basis. Because if The Righteous are signed, he will follow them everywhere, which I 100%. Speaking of people featured on TNA, this gives me into Andrew's pick, somebody who is about to fight for the TNA World Championship in 2 weeks. Andrew's pick for one to watch in 2026 is our lovable human being known as Bear Bronson. formerly AEW wrestler, now on the independents. He has been on a grind. He entered the deathmatch scene this year. He also happened to win the Nick Gage Invitational last week, and he has secured a shot at the GCW World Championship. Not to mention that he is currently in TNA fight. He about to fight for the TNA World Championship. And in 2025 alone, Bear Bronson across all the independent scene has had 98 matches in 2025, with 15 of them being various championship matches, with his first one in 2026 being in 2 weeks against Frankie Kazarian for the TNA World Championship. Also, Bear is a lovely human being. A couple of us have gotten to meet him over this year in various aspects. He is a lovely person, and we love him to death. Also, his wife is amazing as well. We love both of them. I can't wait to see him and Gabby Forza do amazing things in 2026. All right,
the best in the Druid match in Mystery Wrestling as well. The big media man match.
It is really fantastic. Yeah, that Fatal 4-Way for the Progress Atlas Championship was great. All right, we are done with the wrestler category. So now from here on out, it is nothing but matches and pay-per-views, y'all. So this one's also going to be fun to talk about because there's a wide variety of things here. So we're going to get into the match category. So we have best and worst matches for us of the year. So let's talk about the best matches for us. So there's a plethora of choice here. So I am going to quickly go over this. I have selected the Ring of Honor World Championship from Supercard of Honor. Benny has selected the Hollywood ending match between Timeless Toni Storm and Mariah May at Revolution. You know, it's a great pick. Matt has selected Ilya Dragunov and Tommaso Ciampa from SmackDown not too long ago. And speaking of SmackDown, so we love to see it. Sean has selected the TLC triple threat for those tag titles, man, which I was just like, why was this not on Mania? But that is a whole nother argument we can make for all of that, right? Hilt has selected Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus AAA All-Stars, Mr. Iguana and La Parka. Minnie, our WWE guy, has selected Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page from AEW's Double or Nothing. That was great. JBL, of course, going with the mystery wrestling pick because they don't have official match graphics. I had to make this one. Okay. I'm going to save the names of these teams for you to say because I think it's going to be hilarious content. So JBL has selected that. JT has selected Moose versus Leon Slater for the X Division Championship at TNA Slammiversary. Professor has he picked a lot of them, but I want him to talk about this one because I also think this one deserves some time. The Women's World Championship triple threat at Mania, Rhea, Io, and Bianca Belair, which was fantastic. And Will has selected from TNA Genesis from earlier this year in an I Quit match, Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana. This is going to be a lot of fun. So I am actually going to go first because I've been waiting to talk about this match all year, right? So the reason I selected Bandito versus Konosuke Takeshita at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor is because not only was it a banging match, both of them threw down. It was an amazing 25-minute match. It was so good. But what I appreciated is that I still hold that this match is what led to the journeys that Bandito and Takeshita were on for the remainder of the year after Supercard of Honor for this one, right? So since then, Bandito went on to be an AEW Tag Team Championship with Brody King. Brodito was like the best tag team ever. It was great. So it is great. Yes, Will, I have mentioned this match a lot, so deal with it. So I love this match. This was great. And Takeshita went on to, I don't know, just do a little something like win the G1 and then win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. Just a small thing, right? So that is why I have selected Bandito and Takeshita's match at Supercard of Honor as my favorite match of the year. I'm going to go a little bit different because Minnie has to go here in a little bit. So Minnie, again, the running gag is that when we started this podcast 3 years ago, you were just like, I watch nothing but WWE. This year was a little bit different because you got to go for free to AEW's Double or Nothing, which was in your home state. So I would like you to tell me why Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page at Double or Nothing was your match of the year.
Well, the joke was I wouldn't watch Ring of Honor because JBL tried very hard to get me to watch Ring of Honor. All the time I need to be like, watch it. I'm like, no. But yeah, I got to go to Double or Nothing. It's also why it's going to be later on my favorite pay-per-view of the year. It's also my first time being on the floor for an event. So it was really cool. And I got to see this match super up close. Even that little weird botch spot where the table broke before it was supposed to. The Spanish announce table, I was right behind that. Really, this match was awesome. You couldn't sit down for this match. You had to be on your feet the whole time. The missed falls were insane. Both these dudes are insanely talented, incredible wrestlers. Will Ospreay is known for his past couple years being one of, if not the best wrestler on the planet. Hangman's had an insane year. Could be up there for a lot of people for wrestler of the year for them. And this helped set up his title win later on. This was an awesome event to go to. These dudes were incredible. This match, like I said, you couldn't sit down. Everybody was on their feet going nuts. And really quick to FTR, I got him to scream "fuck you" to me, so that was awesome. I gotta go. I love you guys. I will catch you all later. Thank you for having me.
Bye, Minnie.
Bye, Minnie. You're a bitch.
Oh, love you too. Love you too. Bye. Penis.
Gosh dang it, kid. That has been Minnie. No, yeah.
The little one always pops out there.
Now I got a whole row to myself.
Stretch out, Sean. Stretch out.
There can only be one.
We'll wake you when it's your turn.
It is. Well, speaking
Don't
of which,
forget about the little guy down here.
well, speaking of which, since we're talking about you, Sean, you are next up. So why don't you tell us why this triple threat TLC match on SmackDown was your match of the year?
So it's one of those matches where, first off, like at the time, like SmackDown had a glut of just incredible tag team talent going on, right? Like that tag team division on SmackDown, especially when this happened, was redunculous. It's still good, but they kind of cooled it off a little bit, and they're heating up Raw's tag division, except Raw's like the nostalgia, branch a little bit, like, look, it's New Day and freaking the Usos, like, woo, anyways, but like you're getting that's kind of what they're doing on Raw. But on SmackDown, it was like all these younger teams, they're all doing all this fantastic stuff. And, like you said, Mikey, like it's right before WrestleMania, and we were watching this thing, and we're like, this is amazing. Like, it was like great. I don't remember commercials during it. Like, it was just phenomenal. And it, like, was it as good as like the Hardys and the Dudley? No. Like, it was, but for a SmackDown to have that kind of just great freaking event, and you got a little bit of everything, and it was so well done, and it just sticks in my head. Like, it's just one of those matches I'll always refer back to and go, see, you can put on good wrestling matches during the weekly shows. It's okay. Nobody got hurt.
For real.
But I digress. But yeah, it just sticks out in my head. And when you ask, when that question popped up, that's the first match that popped in my head. First one.
I'm glad someone picked this match too, because this was baller as well. Also, this was also the match where Montez Ford used the prosthetic leg, right? Yeah, it was where he grabbed the prosthetic leg and used it as a weapon.
It was just the whole match was just, it was such controlled chaos throughout the whole thing, but it was orchestrated well, but you could tell they were improvising. Yep. It was just, so good.
Yeah, shout out to all three teams, the Profits, DIY, the Motor City Machine Guns, and then we would get a part dos at SummerSlam, which, spoiling it, Jesse's favorite match of the year was the 6 tag team ladder match, which was, I was like, this is going to be chaotic AF. And it was fantastic though. So Jesse's was the SummerSlam 6 tag team championship match, which was great. Professor, I'm very happy that you selected this one. So I want you to tell us why the triple threat between Rhea, Io, and Bianca is your match of the year.
Mikey's not wrong. I had like 8 things in here because it was hard to pick. I had a men's one and a women's one and a this
and a tag team one.
and a tag. I have that same SmackDown match on here in my list. I have a whole from April 25th with prosthetic leg. Like I took all those notes back in earlier. And I had a lot of like non-PLE pay-per-view matches on here. I have a lot from Dynamite. I had a few other things in there. I've gone on the record. I've said this a few times, and I'm not changing it. I kind of hate triple threats. I kind of hate fatal four-ways. They usually suck. It's someone gets thrown out of the ring, these two fight. Now someone gets thrown out of the ring, these two fight. Now someone goes for a pin. Oh, they just start like it's very formula-based. And this was not the case. It was nonstop. They did everything to each other. Bianca broke her hand or her finger and her knuckle early on and kept going. Both Rhea and Bianca hit Io Sky, I think, harder than she's ever been hit by anyone. And then Io, it's not a traditional receipt. Io hits Rhea with a drop kick right at the end. That's like, oh God, you killed her. Like, it's just remarkable. The pace is incredible. I want to say it clocks in. It's almost 18 minutes or so, and it does.
Matt, check your notes.
Do you know? Am I correct?
Matt times all the matches.
Good. We used to time the women's matches all the time because they were always cut, and we're like, what the hell are you doing? Let them run. So they got a chunk of, they got a good amount of time. I'm hoping I'm right now that I'm saying that. Yes, it's got to be right in that 18-minute mark or so.
That was WrestleMania night 1, right?
Yeah, night 1
I
Saturday.
believe so. Yes.
Super fun.
Wait a minute. Let me make sure. Okay, I got.
Fact checking today is brought to you by Matt Jackson.
That was our episode. That was our episode 1, by the way.
Yeah, it was the pilot, or no? Yeah, it was the pilot weekend.
Actually, Io, Rhea, and Bianca went 14 minutes 20 seconds.
Oh, it feels so longer. No way. They deserve.
But it never stopped though. It was a great match.
It was full, so much fun.
I did 18 to 20 minutes worth of stuff in 14 minutes.
They did 2 or 3 different suplex things off the top, as the human centipede thing, just going back and forth. Just amazing to watch. Like again, and there's so many other things I could have picked. I feel like that was a great showcase of what women can do and what they should do.
Yeah.
Evolution probably should have been my pay-per-view pick, but I wouldn't.
Don't worry. Somebody picked it for theirs, and I'm excited too, because it's for them to talk about it. But speaking of women's wrestling, let's continue that train, because Benny, you have selected the Toni Storm versus Mariah May Hollywood ending match as your match of the year. And we talk about time. These two got less than that because their match only clocked in at like 12 minutes, which was nuts. And they still ended up having a banger of a match. So, Benny, why don't you tell us about why the Hollywood ending match is your match of the year?
Yeah. Even though it was only about 12 minutes, this is a perfect example of maximizing your minutes. They were blowing off a nearly 2.5-year feud. Should have ended the show. To be honest with you, because it literally said the end at the end at the end credits. They have a match after Tony pinned Mariah.
But no, we got.
Why wouldn't you end with that? That's just absolutely.
Instead,
insane.
we got Mox and Cope main eventing. I'm still not over that decision.
Yeah, and then they wrestled like a week later on Dynamite, anyways. Like Mox and Cope. It's like. Oh man, but I digress. It was perfect. If they always say that AEW doesn't tell stories, right? Well, this is the contrary to the fact, because this story was the best thing going in AEW for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm. And the amount of people that was involved.
And exactly. You know, what a great way. What a great way to cap it off, you know?
Fantastic. I love it. It's also, I was very close to picking it. I will say it's in my top 10, which I have finalized, and I am going to be going with my friend to watch to show him my top 10 matches of the year. But that was fantastic. Alrighty. I'm not even going to do a lead-in because the names of these teams alone, JVL, is ridiculous. So I want you to tell me what this match is and why it's your match of the year.
First off, I also want to say I almost picked the Hollywood ending as well, but you told me Benny already had it, so I wanted to pick another match because we should give as many matches as possible best run of the year. But props to Tony and Mariah. They really had a stellar match. I want you all to do a little exercise with me, okay? I know this is weird on the podcast. Close your eyes.
Oh, no.
Take a deep breath in and smell this kind of seedy smell. You're now transported to the middle of nowhere, Quebec, in a bingo hall with fairy lights over the ring that are about 8 feet in the air, so you really can't do much in terms of aerial assault. You hear royalty-free music start playing from a badly spaced speaker in the back as the curtains open, and we see our two favorite wrestlers of this year, London Lightning and Cecil Nix, the Ass Blasters. They've just come together. They are going to be wrestling a tag team match for the first time after having a death match 2 months ago.
I was wondering why I was smelling a butthole.
Oh, wait. But they're there. You see
better,
London
hold up.
celebrating, and then Cecil's getting out of the ring. But he's not going to the apron. He's leaving. Where's he going? Oh, we'll get to that later. You hear another different version of royalty-free music, and Xandro Orion pops out of the curtain with Cecil Nix. It's the Space Sluts, his original team. The Ass Blasters are taking on the Space Sluts in a tag team match with 3 people in it.
So, to give you some clarity and some context, Cecil Nix is a tag team person in both tag teams. So, it was so freaking ridiculous. JBL, continue.
The reason this was my match of the year, you would think this would fall apart in the first 5 minutes. They would have convoluted spots of how to get Cecil on both sides. How do you work him in both teams? Yes, he did tag in and fight each of his partners at different times. He went on comebacks against those guys and would apologize to both and then still kick their ass. And then came the coup de grace, the best thing I have seen in wrestling this year. Cecil Nix was tagged in against Cecil Nix. His 2 partners are on the apron and he fought himself. He was bumping, throwing himself into the...
Stupid.
There was a test of strength. There was a low blow to himself. The match ended where he put himself into a sleeper hold, raised his hand up in the sleeper hold, came out of it, nearly broke the sleeper hold, reversed it, and beat himself.
Lord.
How you make that viable, fun to watch, and not just a complete train wreck, I give these men props. And that's why the Ass Blasters versus the Space Sluts was my match of the year.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid, but it was so funny.
I did not have that on my bingo card for today.
No.
Go watch Mystery Wrestling.
That is why JBL is here, because he's our eclectic weirdo uncle who got us into comedy wrestling, specifically mystery wrestling. And it is a grand old time, too. Oh, man. It's only going to get crazier for here. Just prepare yourselves. But, alrighty. So, Matt, you are up next. This match literally just happened not that long ago. So, Ilya versus Tommaso Ciampa for the United States Championship. Go.
This was tough because I also had AJ and Cena in the love letter to wrestling, but
That's a tough one.
it is. So I think being a Gunther fan, and I didn't see a lot of Dragunov because with Sean and I's career, especially being in the military, there's like big gaps that just because of training, whether you're deployed or just whatever, being on active
I miss
duty.
CM Punk's whole career.
So we missed chunks. So I didn't see a lot of Dragunov. Like I saw a little bit of him, but when he came back and like beat Sami Zayn for the U.S. title, I'm like, oh, I like this guy. And then just watch him in each match and how he built that story with Tommaso Ciampa, and the match like delivered, and like they beat the living shit out of each other. Like from the get-go, they did not ease into that match at all. Like the image of Dragunov like covered in blood in the corner, like coming out to fight, kind of like maybe it's just I'm really liking the UK style of wrestling. I think it's really interesting to watch. So I think I kind of really am starting to dig that style, and that match just did it for me. And so people could say, "Well, you're kind of cheating, you're taking the easy route because it was so recent." But like, I watched the match again; it was that damn good.
Ilya is a whole nother beast, and again,
Oh, he's awesome.
As somebody who's gotten to witness him not just in the UK scene, but NXT UK, and when he was in NXT, yeah, he's a whole beast. And I was like, somebody needs to tell Ilya that wrestling is kind of predetermined. Like, but this man gives me 150% every time he's in that ring. So he's really, really fun. I really, really do like that. Alrighty, Kilt. We talked about it when we reviewed Halloween Havoc, and I was so happy. I was happy to see this on the forums. Kilt, why don't you tell me why Javon Evans and Leon Slater versus La Parka and Mr. Iguana was your match of the year? It's so great. Oh no. Kilty boy. I don't think he's paying attention.
I'm half paying attention. But then again, I'm too poor to pay attention most days, so.
Oh my god.
That dog bark was perfect.
Thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you.
I love it.
Pumpkin, I love you so much. You're the second pet that I know of named Pumpkin in my life. Right back at you.
All right, Kilt.
Perfect. I'm having a conversation with a dog about wrestling, which is great.
Go.
All right. So, Pumpkin, here's what it is. So, La Parka and Mr. Iguana versus Javon and Leon Slater. This is one of those matches that was just absolutely almost mystery level ridiculous. It's the gimmicks are great. I loved every little minute of it. Javon and Leon are taking the high-flying, high-speed action that is lucha and translating it into U.S.-style wrestling. And I go back and I want to go watch this match again and again and again and again because it was a lot of fun for me. I keep coming back to it. These two are an amazing team, and they have an amazing, great time together. And I think they are going again. They are going to be the faces of wrestling when we all decide to retire in like 20 years. Okay, cool. No kickback. Anyway.
I'm not going to disagree with
Shut
you.
up.
Everybody
derailed you
Everyone
once.
was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I was about to say 10 years, but I'm like, no, let's be generous. Thank you, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin concurs.
I love it.
That is not so far that it's like, yes, exactly, Pumpkin. As
That's actually a dog named Pumpkin. That's not like a soundboard. Dude's just
It's not.
That's fantastic. Well played, Pumpkin.
Go, Kill, go. We still got
No,
we got 3 categories.
Somebody was talking their stuff earlier, and she just comes up and she's just all up on me. I was like, oh, God. Behold, my dog. Anyways, continue.
I had to do that with my child earlier. I'm like, no, go over there.
Why was she licking you?
But no.
All right.
He's 6. What do you expect?
All right.
That's weird shit. I shouldn't be yelling and sleeping, actually.
Before we
Anyway,
get canceled once again.
this was a great match. It was so much fun to watch. It was just, there's no words I can put to describe it, how good it was and how much I look forward to their progression.
Jesse, the answer to that question is probably. We'll figure that out when we get there. I'm
already locked in. It's you're fucking stuck with me like herpes. Come on now.
Love that. Love that imagery. Thanks, Kilt. Much appreciated.
Chappelle flashback.
Oh no. Alrighty, so really quickly, JT selected Moose and Leon Slater at Slammiversary. This is where Leon won the title. And honestly, fantastic match. Really loved the respect between Moose and Leon, which also, this is where AJ came out and cut a promo with Leon, which was great. I want that match to happen immediately. Yeah. So, Will has selected Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana in an I Quit match at Genesis. This was hard hitting. This was nuts. And yeah, it was great. And this was one of Josh's final matches in TNA before, going to Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling and then coming to AEW, which was a lot of fun. All right. Finally, before we get into the next couple of categories, this is great. That was also true. Will was in the building during Genesis, and he's going back to Genesis next month. So that's going to be fun in Dallas, Texas. Love you, Will.
I have to interrupt. Over on Twitch, someone said,
when
as a
don't
barber,
you, but go for it.
I know. Someone on Twitch by the name of Polar Knights just said, as a barber, I love this show. It is every stage of beard growth.
Exactly. It is amazing.
It goes from no beard with Mikey, stubble with Matt, Mike, whatever the fuck I am, and then
we just get into the
Grizzly Adams did have a beard.
Wait, no, did he have a beard, or was the beard Grizzly Adams that happened to take over a body?
Hey, listen, I'm just a Happy Gilmore fan. Grizzly Adams had a beard.
So some beard oil company needs to come on and sponsor this podcast. Is what
for
you're
real,
saying.
honestly.
Hey,
We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. And last but certainly not least, Andrew has selected this glorious match as his match of the year for the GCW Ultra Violent Championship. Matt Tremont versus Bear Bronson. God, this match was bloody, but it was epic AF. And honestly, this is where I was like, Bear needs to do crazy and big things in 2026. So here's hoping that TNA signs him and he continues to kill it wherever he goes. Love it. Alrighty. So now we talked about the best. Let's talk about the worst, because I'm just sitting. This is, to me, the worst ones are the fun ones, because we get to show various levels of anger and just frustration with everything. So I'm going to let the host look at these while I read everything off. So let's get into the worst / least favorite matches of the year. I have selected Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu from SummerSlam.
Good one.
Good choice. Yep.
Good one.
Man.
That sucked.
I forgot this match existed until I read Betty's form, but Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean, which, God, it was so, oh man. Oh,
Dan
man,
Severn as referee.
Man, it was rough.
Dan Severn.
It was ridiculous. We have Matt and Sean picking Brock Lesnar versus Cena at WrestlePalooza.
Good pick, buddy.
It was.
So, what's the point of that match? Yeah, damn right, it was terrible.
God, it was awful. Kilt has selected Gunther versus Goldberg at Saturday night's main event.
Because fuck that bald bastard.
So they cut off his farewell speech.
For reals. Minnie has selected Cody versus Cena at Mania as his worst match. JBL has picked he's like, take a pick of any main roster PLE this year.
So the WWE is a whole, huh?
Yeah,
You're not
mostly.
wrong,
there
but
are
you're
bright
also
spots,
not
but
right.
in general, it's just kind of been like they've gone under their bar. There have been nice bright spots here and there, but it's just not been worthwhile. And then with everything on top of having to watch WWE, I just my soul.
You're preaching to the choir, bro. You're preaching to the choir. We've been lambasting them. Like I'm on the. I mean, Mikey's seen it in my text, man. Like their writing staff. Their writing staff. It's like. The best analogy I had for it was like during the Bloodline timeline, they were writing like War and Peace and all these great novellas, and now they're like drawing pictures in crayon. Like it's horrible.
They're using it
right now.
So that's JBL's pick. I feel like he just explained it, so we don't really need to go into detail for that one. JT has picked any match that Eric Young was in TNA, but specifically, this is the one that made us both mad. And this was the Downward Spiral, which was the International Championship match between, Steve Macklin and Eric Young. I was in the building for Rebellion. This match was awful, you guys. I'm not even going to front. Professor also had a list, but I picked this one because I'm excited to hear him talk about the train wreck that was Tiffy versus Nia versus Jade, because this match was not fun. And yes, Will Papa also coming in because I feel his pain, because we had to review this match between Trick Williams and Moose for the TNA World Championship. It was god awful, you guys. It was Emergence as a whole was bad. It was the bad pay-per-view. But there was one pay-per-view that Will picked that was worse than this one. And then helping him figure it out, it's like, oh, God, I forgot how bad that one was. And then I don't have to explain it too much, but Andrew's worst match was from the 2-day war, GCW versus, Juggalo Championship Wrestling. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Legends versus the team GCW Legends versus the team JCW. This match was awful. It was like 3 minutes. It was bad. It was I want to forget it as a whole. Alrighty. So I just want to get this one out of the way because I forgot how bad this match was. And from an indie wrestling perspective, this was almost at the levels of Ric Flair's retirement match bad, honestly. It was so bad. Betty, I'm going to have you kick us off. Minoru Suzuki versus Butterbean. I watched this, unfortunately, and I wish I didn't.
I agree. Not really. To be honest with you, I think what constitutes as a bad match is completely subjective, right? But when I saw the flyer for this match, I said, "Ooh, this is going to be a train wreck. I got to see this." It was WrestleMania to set the stage. It was WrestleMania
Mania week
weekend. Yeah, at WrestleCade they had a super show. So WrestleCade is like a convention that they have all the old wrestlers and wrestling adjacent people, right? I think Rodman was there, and so they had this match with Butterbean and Minoru Suzuki, and at one point, Butterbean, who's known as a knockout artist back in his heyday, hits Minoru Suzuki a little bit too hard, and Minoru Suzuki gets really pissed at that and takes him down and doesn't let him up.
It was a shoot fight.
So they went shoot, full shoot.
It was a work. Yep. It was a work match that turned into a shoot fight real quick.
It was so bad. It was a train wreck, but it was I was like, this is still not as bad as Ric Flair's retirement match, but this was close. I was like, Minoru Suzuki was pissed.
It's pretty bad when you have a heart attack in your in your match.
Oh my gosh! Mick Foley was me the whole entire time of that match when they showed the memes. I was like, but no, Betty, this was a god awful. This was awful. And that's saying something because I've watched a lot of wrestling this year. I forgot this existed. And then I was like, wait a minute. Let me see if I remember this correctly. And I did the thing you weren't supposed to do. I went back and watched this 2 days ago. And I was like, as soon as I saw the first couple minutes, I was like, nope, I remember why I turned it off. I was like, I can't do this today.
Yeah.
This was
I do not suggest to go out of your way to see this. No, it's bad.
No. All right, we're gonna flip the script a little bit because this is the double pick. Sean and Matt. I don't disagree with you because this was an awful match as well. The whole pay-per-view, just throw it in the trash. Either way, this was WrestlePalooza was so bad, you guys. But I want to
Don't worry, it was my pick for worst PLE.
Yep. But let's get into it. So John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Y'all didn't like watching Lesnar F5 Cena for 3 minutes straight?
No, and that's the whole point. First off, so we've already went through one transition. You got to kind of set the stage, right? You already went through one transition where they moved to Netflix, they made it a big deal. Okay, cool. Now we're all in the groove on Peacock, and then they're like, "Nah, man, we're going to ESPN. We're a real freaking thing, and it's all important. It's sports now. We're putting this S in sports and entertainment, and so you're like, okay, cool. They're moving to a new platform. It's their first PLE on here. They seem to be on paper putting on decent matches. Well, you already know my take on the 3-week build cycle. It can go to hell, but so we bum rush into this damn thing, and you're like, all right, Cena's kind of and this is when Cena's already flipped back, we're on the vibes tour now, right? Like we're like, yeah, we're gonna get some Cena vibes. And like you said, he just spends the entire match just getting F5 to death. And then you're like,
It was
nothing?
the match after he did Super Cena.
Yes,
Cody Rhodes and went for like 40 minutes, and then he gets squashed.
like
he goes 40 minutes
this
for Cody, but gets squashed by Brock Lesnar. In what?
he didn't
7
even
minutes?
get anything.
It was
And like
pathetic.
you,
I mean, Sean said as soon as the Make-A-Wish kids were on the stage, like we knew bad.
You
things were
already
gonna happen
knew.
to John.
You already knew.
Kids were going home crying. It's gonna be bad.
Lord.
but it's
But
even
the match
worse
was
than that.
horrible. Oh, it's just,
But it's even worse than that because like he did it and there was no follow-up, which makes it even worse, right? Like he never got payback. You never got a reason from Lesnar other than I felt like F5ing John Cena on his way out the door. I owed him about 50 more. You know, it was just terrible. I had a terrible PLE. Like it was just the cherry
Pretty
on the
bad.
turd sandwich, man. It was bad.
Man, it was awful. And I made the bad decision to watch it because I was on my way to Los Angeles for the GCW show. So on the way there, I watched All Out Toronto and WrestlePalooza before GCW. And I was just like, I should have not watched WrestlePalooza because I was like, what a waste of my time. My Denny's lunch, my Denny's dinner was more interesting than WrestlePalooza.
It's the reason why I have Hulu now as my TV provider. Like I was like YouTube TV, and then they're like, "Oh, we're going to ESPN." I was like, "I got to save me a couple of bucks. I need that
For
bundle."
reals. I'm not spending all this money for you, WWE. Like, no, we're good.
Yeah, exactly. It was just it was a crap fest, poop fest, in the words of Richard Sherman from the Seattle Seahawks. Poop fest.
Love it. Oh man. Alrighty, Professor. Me and you reviewed this particular match when we did during one of the reviews. Oh man. Anyways, tell us why Tiffy, Jade, Nia, worst match.
I don't remember if it was you. It might have been you. We're saying like, look at all this great momentum that the women have going into this, and how they just ruined it.
Oh man,
in a weekend.
This was rough.
This was so bad. People have been making videos breaking down how bad it was ever since. And we could talk about this forever. I know we're up against it, but Nia Jax splits Jade open. Jade doesn't get her hands up in time. They rushed that spot, and from that moment on, shit just goes straight downhill. Nia Jax almost breaks her arm twice. The ref goes to touch Jade and fix up Jade, not wearing gloves, gets blood on her hands. Of course, they missed the ending, but they missed the ending because they tried to fix it. But since they were not listening, they made it worse. And then they tried to fix it, but then they made it worse. And then the ref, who got all of the blame, now a few months later, it's like, no, not the ref's fault. The ref's doing what the ref was told to do. You did it out of order. The ref calls to go home. Everybody sees it. Everybody knows. I think Tiffany, I don't think she was injured, but she pulled something. Does not help Nia Jax, who has fought so hard to get that reputation of I'm a safe worker, right? Like that's always been that cloud over her, and then that will always be there forever now. After watching this, I think I'm more upset because we had momentum, we had a thing going. What are you doing? What are you doing? I know you're better. I know all three of you are better.
This was god awful.
Yeah, it's bad.
I was so mad.
And whereas some of the other ones are like, I feel like this was unforgivable to me. It was like, all right, fine, you're old people, do old people things. This was like, you're all good. Like you're great. What are you doing?
It's been really rough. This has not been like this match was bad, right? But then I'm like, Tiffany's year as champion was so unmemorable. It breaks my heart because as somebody who followed Tiffany, well, not just me, but our next person who also covers NXT with me, Papa also is in the building. Hi, Will. Happy you can make it. So the downfall of Tiffany Stratton this year has been really heartbreaking to watch as somebody who both like watching Tiffany in NXT and having really great matches. Like I still love her match against Becky at No Mercy from 2 years ago. Like, that match was baller. And then this year, her championship run was unmemorable. But yeah, this match with her and Nia and Jade was just, it was a train wreck. This was really, really bad. Alrighty. It really was. So, Will, I'm going to save you for last on this one. Kilt, I want you to tell me why Oldberg versus Gunther is your worst match, your least favorite match of the year from Saturday night's main event.
I literally skipped through this match just to catch highlights and then see him talk and then just turn it off.
I remember
Literally, this was so fucking boring.
God, it was so bad. I hated it. And I felt bad because you elected to watch this and then give us your feedback, even though I told you, be like, hey, I'm going on vacation for a week. Like, I need you for NXT, but I'm just going to put it out there. There were 3 WWE wrestling events that happened that week in July. Only one of them succeeded, and that was the one that WWE did not give any build to, and it ended up being the best thing, which we're going to talk about next. So, go. Jesse,
you ain't wrong.
Fucking Jesse.
You ain't wrong. It was
highlights. You mean when it ended?
I literally would skip spot to spot to spot, and then I stopped caring and skipped straight to the end just to see how it finished, and then I shut it off as soon as they started trying to talk.
I remember the text I'm immediately. Done. You're just like, I wasted my time, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm still pissed about it. I'm still angry about it. Fuck Goldberg.
God, it was so bad. It was really, it was rough. I felt bad for Kill because he texted me, I'm on vacation. I'm like, I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry. Alrighty. Before moving on into our final 2 categories, now that Papa Oso is in the building, Will, I know this very well because we have had multiple conversations on this, but I need you to tell me why Trick Williams versus Moose for the TNA World Championship at Emergence was your worst match of the year.
Because it was stupid. I mean, honestly, truly, it was hard to pick one from Emergence because pretty much they were all crap.
The whole pay-per-view is trash.
It was garbage. But this one, because I don't even know where to begin with Trick Williams at this point when Emergence was happening, because I was tired of him being on my screen whining like a little baby about everything.
That was some dark times.
Oh my God. I mean, because I used to love Trick Williams, and I still do. I do like Trick Williams, but I used to love him because during him and Carmelo's whole thing, and I was like, yeah, you've kicked Carmelo to the side, and you're becoming your own man, and then he got a title, and he became a major douchebag, and I'm like suddenly, it wasn't even a build. It was literally like, oh, I have a title now, I have to be a douchebag to everybody.
Yes,
and it which bugged the crap out of me, and then and then Moose comes into this because my God, I am sick and tired of the system, and so it just added.
You're not wrong, Andrew. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Emergence every year, man, is rough, but again, it's like what you were saying, Sean. Emergence was one of those 3-week builds to the pay-per-view. It's like we come out of Slammiversary, it's like, oh crap, we have another one.
What do we do? Oh, I know. Let's just throw some shit in the ring. And that's exactly what they did.
The story
and it was so bad. The only one that came close to this one that I almost picked was SummerSlam.
Oh God.
Because that one, man. Geez Louise. But this one, the worst. It was the absolute worst.
It was so, this was not great. I don't have to say anything about my pick, Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu, and what was supposed to be a steel cage match for the United States Championship. And this is where all the money's going in the swear jar for this one. Why the fuck is this match only 3.5 minutes long? And it was a nothing burger. This pissed me off so much. I felt so bad.
Question. Why the hell was that match in a cage when the only cagey thing they effing did was after the match was over?
When the match was over.
Pointless effing.
It It was some bullshit, is what it was. I will curse for you, Sean. I will curse for you because this was some bullshit. I was so mad.
God.
This was a nothing burger match, and I was excited because I was just like, I'm not expecting Jacob to win, but this is the culmination of with Jacob turning on Solo at Money in the Bank, and building to SummerSlam, which was at the beginning of August, mind you. So we spent the month and a half building up to this feud, and how did this feud turn out? Nothing is what happened. It was some bullshit. And I don't care what people are saying. Oh, it's because the other match went long. Fuck all that. I was like,
it's in a cage. Like,
it was. I hate when stipulations aren't used to their fullest potential. And I was just like, what? This match was 3.5 minutes. Or at all. This was a mess. This was stupid. This was also where Jimmy returned, but I don't care about that. And I was just like, I wanted to see them destroy each other. I know it's WWE, so I'm not expecting like deathmatch levels of blood and gore, right? But at the same time, I was just like, it's a cage match and it's 3.5 minutes. Nah, I was so mad at WWE, and it took me the rest of the year to finally make peace with it. But even then, I'm still pissed that this match happened. I almost picked. What was it? There was a tag team match I almost picked that made it on the pay-per-view that I was like, oh, this is bad. This is not great. But no, this was my worst match of the year, and I already went through Andrew's. JVL, we already went through your pick for yours.
You already got me heated. You already got me heated again on this one. Can you move my icon over? I think I don't know. Both the Lesnar one and this one are probably the two that pissed me off the most this year because they're pointless, both of them.
And I'll say thank you all for proving my point that WWE had horrible matches this year.
They made me mad with their choices this year. So let's talk about some stuff we actually like, because now we're getting into the final two categories. I know we're running up on it, but let's keep going. Best/favorite pay-per-view of the entire year. So these are the 9 that made it through our picks. There are a couple of replicas and some people, so let's go through it really quickly. Benny and I have selected AEW's All in Texas, which I really, really love. Both Sean and Matt have selected Money in the Bank, which I was there live, so that was a lot of fun too. Kilt, I love you because this was going to be my pick if nobody picked it, but I knew you were going to pick this. Kilt has selected Evolution as his favorite pay-per-view of the year. Minnie has selected AEW's Double or Nothing. JVL has went with AEW Revolution. JT has picked TNA Slammiversary. I'll get to you, Jesse. Hang on in a sec. Professor has selected the CMLL versus AEW and Ring of Honor show. Papa Oso, Will, you has selected TNA Genesis, and Andrew has selected GCW Homecoming, which is great. Also, really quickly, Jesse also had 2 matches that was his worst match of the year. Number 1 being the men's and the women's Royal Rumbles because they were uninspired. But the one that I actually really liked is Sammy versus Karrion Kross SummerSlam Night 2. I was like, oh God, I forgot about that one. The match was fine, but the result and the ending was just god awful. It was, oh man, I forgot about that. All right, but now let's talk about stuff we actually like. Jesse has selected Mystery Wrestling 19 as his favorite show of the entire year, so that's a lot of fun. All righty. So we're going to quickly go through this. I'm going to start with Matt and Sean, Money in the Bank. I was in the house for this one. It was a lot of fun. Why was this one your favorite pay-per-view of the year?
Take it, Matt. And unmute yourself, Matt. Podcasting 101. Don't mute your mic.
Damn. Okay. Sorry. But, no, this was an easy pick for me. A lot happened with Naomi winning hers, Seth winning his. You had this was the day I think after Triple Mania, so you got to see Octagon Jr. fight Dom on that show. You had a great tag team match with Cena and Cena and Jey Uso against Cody and Logan Paul. So it was just
that Cena and Logan and Cody and Jay.
It's getting late, but no, awesome. Just awesome pay-per-view. It had a lot of good storytelling on that. Like that was just a super well-produced show. So I think Sean just wanted to agree because he was having a hard time struggling with what to pick. Am I right, my friend?
Yeah, it was probably the last time I was surprised this year by WWE, and then they just went chalk for the rest of the year. You know what I mean? It was the first. It was the last time this year where I didn't look at a PLE and just go, "They're going to pick that one. They're going to pick that one. They're going to pick that one," and it was. I need that mystery in my life. I need that uncertainty, and like this is the last time I felt it. So. There you go. Because everything after Money in the Bank, it was just like, I know where they're going.
It's rough. That was the last time, because in the rest of the summer and the rest of the year for the Fed, it was a rough go. It was rough, which we're going to talk about in our worst. Kilt. Yep. I mentioned this before. There were 3 wrestling events that happened over the weekend in July in Atlanta, Georgia. And this was the only one to succeed and blow everything out of the water. So I want to hear from you, which I kind of know where you're going because we did the watch along for this, but tell me why Evolution is your favorite pay-per-view, the best pay-per-view of the year.
Because there was no story build-up, there was no fucking advertising, and it barely got even any screen time during any main roster show. And it still succeeded better than every single PLE they put out.
Let's be so for real. Women's wrestling
year.
Women's wrestling in general carried 2025. Let's be so for real, in my opinion.
I agree. I fully agree. That's why this is my favorite PLE of the year. It beat out WrestleMania. 2 nights of WrestleMania was worse.
You could say it was worse. We did the
was worse than. Was worse than. Like I don't want to say worse than, because it was actually really good. Because again, Evolution was great. I loved it. It was so much fun. They did what the best they had with the shit they were given, and it outperformed WrestleMania in my opinion. It outperformed every single PLE I've seen since. My brain farts and I'm like,
it's okay. No, we did the watch along for this.
It was fantastic. I love this.
There was literally outside of NXT, because NXT was the only of the 3 brands that did any story build to their matches that they had at Evolution. Main roster couldn't give a hoot because they were focused on everything else happening. I mean, they prioritized Saturday night's main event over this show. And the fact that this was the best thing that came out of that weekend was awesome. It had some of the great moments. This was also a moment that I was genuinely pleasantly surprised by, an actual shocker, with Naomi cashing in her Money in the Bank contract and successfully becoming a world champion here. So it was great. It was fantastic. And I had a good time. Alrighty, JVL, Revolution, minus the main event. Tell me why this show was your favorite pay-per-view of the whole year.
You know, having that run-in with Christian Cage, using up his contract because he had to make it a triple threat match, which that was bizarre. And, you know, the pre-show, it was our first taste of, you know, big Boom Boom AJ coming in and doing his run of pre-show matches the rest of the year. Revolution in general, the AEW, has become like the pay-per-view of the year where they actually put on the best matches of the year. We had opened up with Hangman Adam Page versus MJF, which was their culmination of their end of their storyline coming out of 2025. And Hangman really solidifying himself, getting back up where he needed to be. You had Mercedes Moné having one of her better matches against Momo Watanabe early
that
on
match
here
was so good
for this. And, you know, while she had some stinkers on in this championship reign, this was ridiculous. Swerve Strickland beating Ricochet to become the number 1 contender, which would then carry Swerve throughout the rest of the year. And Ricochet getting the first big smack on his head, always good. Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King for the Continental Championship. That should not have been as good as it was, and it was. The Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners was on this card. The Outrunners pre-Dalton Castle in this run. So, and then middle of the card is the match of the year for me, is the Hollywood ending between Tony Storm and Mariah May, which was given a criminal amount of time, still blew everything out of the water. And you follow that with Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita. How do you do that? How do you follow that?
No.
And what actually, either this or Timeless Stone should have been the end, you have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage.
And how a steel cage match is supposed to go.
Where they both nearly died and did a Spanish fly off the top of a cage. I can't say enough about this entire thing. It was banger after banger after banger. banger after banger, and then wet fart for the end, which then they retreaded the next night anyways.
Yeah, we were so close to the perfect show, and then the main event ruined it.
Was this Will Ospreay's last appearance? Wasn't it somewhere in March?
No,
somewhere
he
in
came
here?
back after the next one. He was in a tag team with Swerve, and then he went.
Okay, that's right.
You did the Y'all in Texas review when it was Swerve and Will versus the Young Bucks for control of the company, which was
that's right. That's
paper, a silly storyline, but the match banged. Alrighty. So speaking of which, Professor, I love your pick. CMLL versus AEW and ROH. This was not the Mexico show that we got for. This is not AEW Dynamite in Mexico, but this was the show the night before. So tell me why this show was your favorite pay-per-view show of the year.
Going back, I had this. I should have been more specific. I loved this. I put all of these together as their own one big 3-night event in my head, just because I was like, I had so much fun watching this. Of everything that I got to watch, all the PLAs and other things, this is the one that I rewatched for fun and went, yeah, I want to go see that again. I want to go look at everything that they're doing over there, and I wish I had more days and time. It was a blast. I bought a shirt for the review. Like, it was so much fun.
Yeah, we went all out with that crossover.
It was such a blast.
You want to talk about the fact of people doing something right in Lucha Libre? Yeah, AAA got bought by WWE. CMLL is working with AEW in such a better fashion.
Oh yeah, and everyone's happy over there. Like, they're doing good stuff. Like, just re-looking at the card, everything on there that it's just, oh yeah, Bandito Dorado, Hologram Neon, Atlantis Jr., Josh Alexander, all of those in my head. Like, oh yeah,
crazy.
Mystico, MJF being hated. Like, it was amazing. Mercedes Moné, La Catalina, like all these matches that we got to watch for those few days, such a blast.
I really hope they go back to Mexico this year in 2026.
And I think the precedent that they set for what it meant for in the middle of the summer when we were sort of dragging, like, okay, well, what's going to happen? What are we going to watch?
This is a great start to the summer because this was in June.
Was it June? It was June, yeah. So I really enjoyed that one. That stuck out to me.
Love it. All righty. So Betty, me and you are going to go last, but Papa Oso, TNA Genesis, you were in the building for this one. So why don't you tell us why Genesis is your favorite pay-per-view of the year?
Okay. Can I give a little bit of context real quick?
Do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so the reason I chose this one is because this is the very first live wrestling event I have attended since my father and I stopped. And my father passed away. And so I got to go for the first time, and that's why Genesis is like my thing. Were there better ones? Probably so. But this one is just, it sits with me now because, yeah. So that was my context. But the overall event was mind-blowing. Sitting in the audience because, you know, we had Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth, which was a brilliant title match. We had Masha Slamovich and Rosemary, which was probably one of the weaker matches of the pay-per-view, but it was still a lot of fun because they did that whole, I think it was called Clock Orange House fun.
The housework Clock Orange match.
Yeah, that thing. And it was cool. But I mean, I think it could have been better. But then you had the Hardys against the Rascals, and you know Moose defeated Ace Austin at that one, and you know Jody Threat and Danny Luna won their title there against the Elegance brand. You know, and you know one of the highlights of that whole event for me was Mike Santana making his entrance when he walks through the crowd. It was amazing. It was just, you just felt like, wow, you're one of us, or we're one of you. And that whole match between him and Josh,
Quit match was probably my favorite match of that whole card too.
Oh, it was my favorite of that night. And to get to sit there, you know, 3 rows away and just watch it happen was
you were near the ramp. I got to see you when I watched this.
Yeah, I was like 3 seats from the ramp, and it was insane. And so there was just so much good happening there, you know, wrestling, and I got to literally sit there like my dad was next to me. It was really cool.
Aww.
Yeah. My husband went with me. My husband absolutely, I drug him to a wrestling event. He is not a fan of wrestling. But he went because he's like to support me, and I think he had a good time.
He had a great time. Like he
But
won't
we're
admit
going
it,
back
but
again, so
y'all are
There
going
you
back
go.
in January. It's great. Oh man. Well, I mean, all of you know that this year has been the same thing with my mom. Mama Luguillow's not necessarily the wrestling fan. She went with me to Rebellion because it was my birthday weekend and she wanted to celebrate with me. And then she's been with me for all the other shows. I'll talk afterwards. All right, Benny, it's our turn to shine, man. We both selected All In Texas as our favorite pay-per-view. And to give a little bit of context for this one, too, this was the origin story of Benny being a part of the BC Wrestle Pod, because we did the watch along, me and you, like on different screens, virtually texting and messaging each other. And then you filled in for me because I was on vacation the following week and you were with JBL and the Professor reviewing All In Texas with them. So, Benny, why is Y'all in Texas your pay-per-view of the year?
Well, every villain has an origin story, right? So the I don't know. I guess it's like the sort of like the significance of this event, like going from a 10,000 seat venue in Chicagoland in 2018 to Wembley Stadium to the Texas Rangers Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what a story in and of itself, right? And then how can you go wrong with like the culmination of like Hangman Page and John Moxley? Like John
Texas
Moxley had like
Deathmatch, yep.
a bulldog choke on the AEW World Title for like 8-9
Ever.
months after he killed Bryan Danielson. And then you get Okada Omega 5. So like, how can't you?
I think the reason I really love this show
what
too.
I love about wrestling.
This show was from beginning to now. I will admit this was 6 hours, so my butt cheeks were sore after this one. But this was also the start where AEW decided it's like, hey, we're gonna start early in the afternoon. So we went from like 12 to 5 p.m. But honestly, I appreciated that. I was like, it's not midnight. I can actually enjoy the rest of my day. But I really enjoyed this one too. This is one that I also watched with Mama Luguillo as well. But every match was really good, even though we had to switch up too, because that's where we found out that Adam Cole could no longer wrestle. So he had to vacate the title, and so it became a fatal 4-way. But even then, the 2 battle royale type matches for the Casino Gauntlets were great. Tony versus Mercedes was fantastic. The Texas Death Match between Mox and Hangman, where Hangman finally completed the story and getting the championship back from the Death Riders. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And I also picked All In Texas because going back through all the report cards we did this year, this is the pay-per-view I gave the highest grade to this year, of it nearly almost reading A status. It was a bit short just because of the fatal 4-way change, but it ended up being one of the highest pay-per-views I graded this year for our report cards. Alrighty, so we got the nice warm and fuzzies out of the way. Let's dive back into what made us mad this year. Let's talk about the pay-per-views that upset us. This is the final category, worst/least favorite pay-per-view of the year. And I am going to read these off because it is also a great selection in my personal opinion. So I have selected Clash in Paris from WWE. Benny has picked New Japan Dominion, which was also a rough go. Which is crazy. Matt and Kilts have picked Survivor Series War Games as their worst pay-per-view. Minnie and Sean have selected WrestlePalooza. Once again, JVL has picked main roster PLEs for WWE this year, which we don't need to go back into details. It's like, we get it. Maybe just a tiny bit. JT has selected TNA's Turning Point because no, TNA Turning Point was so bad, you guys. I'm not even gonna lie. Turning Point was rough. Professor has selected Backlash St. Louis as his worst one. Will has selected NXT's The Great American Bash, and Andrew has selected JCW versus GCW, the 2-day war. These are now. When I looked at these, I was like, "Oh God, there's some rough ones in here." So I'm gonna go with this. I am gonna start with you, Benny. New Japan Dominion. This was a rough show for sure. I mean, New Japan has had it rough this year, but this was not the best. So, why don't you tell us why New Japan Dominion is your worst pay-per-view of the year?
Actually, this one was sort of a cop-out because all in all, wrestling's been pretty great this year, and I don't want to take that for granted. Like this show was it was probably the worst NJPW show I've seen in a long time, but that's still pretty good, right? Like there was still.
It was still pretty good, but there were some decisions I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, of course, but like, there's enough bad faith about going around. So I'm just gonna toss it back and say, you know what, wrestling is great, man.
Listen, wrestling is great. This wasn't the worst show I saw this year, but this was a rough go for the summer for New Japan. And then the G1, it led into the G1, which was also plagued with some unfortunateness, like Gabe Kidd being injured and being taken out of the G1. So it was a rough go for the summer of New Japan, honestly. Alrighty, so let's go into it. Matt and Kilt, you have selected Survivor Series War Games as your least favorite match of the whole entire year. I would like you two to tell me why that was.
You first, Kilt.
Alrighty, Kilty Boy had the unfortunate pleasure of having to do the watch along for this while I was there on the boots to the ground. So, Kilt.
I shall breathe in and then go. Oh my God, how many fucking botches can you have in a single goddamn night? Oh, so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, but it made Matthew's year. That's the thing. He had a thing for 3 different Botchamania videos. It was great.
It's like, dude, seriously. Fucking Nikki Bella fucking botches the shit twice out of the Devil's Kiss. Freaking, there's botches in all of the matches in different ways. Freaking, the only highlight to this was fucking Io Sky's
Oscar the Grouch spot.
Yes, thank you. Like, I'm just like, my brain is trying to. That was the only good thing. Like, everything about this was so stupid. The storytelling for the women's match was worse than the entire storytelling for all of fucking.
Hey, Kilt, what story?
Exactly.
So, for me, Survivor Series, I think actually as a wrestling show, WrestlePalooza was worse. But however, the lack of a build-up for Survivor Series, it was like, it's one of the big 4, and the build-up was underwhelming. But then even the talent level you had in the War Games matches, they didn't deliver. Yeah, the Nikki Bella, she about botches when she wakes up in the morning.
Matt is a huge Nikki Bella fan, if you cannot tell. He loves Nikki Bella.
I mean, and then like it was cool that Dom won his title back from Cena, but the match that they had in Boston was so much better. So for me, it was a disappointing show. Yeah, and there was a lot of botches in the War Games matches as well, and not the flow like some of them have had in the past. So that's why I went with Survivor Series. Even though the wrestling itself wasn't as bad as WrestlePalooza, I expected a lot more from this show.
Yeah, there was zero build up for the women's. They're just like, all right, we're gonna throw all these women.
Yep.
And we're gonna bring in Lash Legend.
3-week cycle, buddy.
It was a 3-week cycle. It wasn't even a 3-week cycle. They literally did it like week 1 out of 3 and fucked off. Like
Yep.
they said, here's what you're getting, and
You know-
fucked right
you know
off.
what- you know
They
what the best-
screwed over Lash Legend so badly because of it, in my
You know what
opinion.
the greatest thing about Survivor Series weekend was Lash Legend and Trick Williams getting engaged. That is the best thing that happened that whole weekend.
Congrats to them, but
For reals. It was
I'm so
ridiculous.
mad.
It was
And then
ridiculous.
the men's match was just why?
I was so bored. I will
Well,
say though, I did get a
it
hoot of
was-
Jey Uso in his music in the middle of the match. I'm like, he is so unserious. That's me though. I was like, he don't care. I don't care about this match.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so pointless, and like coming out of it, right? Like if you stop and think about it, it was like a pause for the cause, right? Like we had this thing, we threw all the geriatric like superstars on one side of it. Yeah, well, it goes back to my point, right? Like stop and think about it for a second. Like I said, like all the younger talent that's coming up, but look at the one side of the team. Cody Rhodes. All right. He's
40.
still up there, right? CM Punk, Brock Lesnar, it's Roman Reigns. He's up there too. Like, you know, it's just like, oh, and Jey Uso, you know, but like, it was just like, here's all the old dudes that are on their way out eventually. And here's some of the young guys coming in because they're all part of the vision. And it's just like, and you had all this superstar power because, like, let me tell you, Roman Reigns got his stands out there. That's for damn sure. But like the whole match was just bleh. It was a big pile of bleh.
Meanwhile, you wait a month, and AEW does it better with blood and guts across the board.
We'll see. That's a whole different topic. We could say for a whole nother day because we're running up against being past the time I said we would be done. So let's keep going. Well, the name was uttered. So, Sean, why don't you tell us about why WrestlePalooza was your worst pay-per-view of the year?
We talked about it earlier, right? Like, it was the first time on ESPN. Again, they slapped matches together, but they were on paper like decent matches, and the whole show sucked. Top to bottom, sucked. And then like you get to like Lesnar Cena, sucked. And it just I've never been more disappointed in one PLE in my life than that one. That was probably the worst in a long time. PLE, where I've just been like, what is this crap fest?
It was
like
rough. It was bad.
I was so PO'd about it, and it was so bad, and it was such a waste. You know, they better pull their heads out of their ass. That's all I'm saying. That one was just absolutely abhorrent. It was terrible.
I do have to shout out ESPN though, because they gave it the same grade as I did for the report card when I did it too. I was like, hey, great minds think alike. No, but it was bad.
Terrible.
It was bad. Well, keeping the train going for WWE, JBL, really quickly, why don't you reiterate why WWE PLEs as a whole this year was the worst pay-per-views?
I don't have to say anything. Everyone has proved my point by everything else they've said so far this year. We in most other feds and everything else this year, you had a couple of stinkers. It was constant this year with WWE, except for Evolution.
Very, very fair. All righty, so keeping the WWE train going of worst pay-per-views of the year. Professor, me and you briefly talked about this when I was helping you. Backlash St. Louis.
Maybe Backlash wasn't as bad as I thought.
No, let me
Backlash
remind you. Gunther versus Pat McAfee.
That was the one that put me over the edge, was that Gunther Pat McAfee just sitting there for way too long going, what are we doing? Partly because Backlash should have gone back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
should have gone back to France. Like when they did the international backlashes 2 years in a row, they were incredible. This one, from what I remember of the review, it was just like it was just such an afterthought. When I was anticipating, oh, this is the one that 3 years in a row, I was all about this. Let's go. My disappointment for the thing, that horrible Pat McAfee, Gunther, what the hell are we doing thing. And then Cena, Orton just being kind of stiff and not sure where they were, like not doing the quality of what we know they're capable of. R-Truth there, fine, okay. The Dom Penta match, I wanted more out of Penta. I think we talked about it on a review. So
there was no follow-up for that either, too, if I remember correctly. Like that was like a one and done. That was so bad.
Grande Americano made it worse, and it's over. Like, wait, no, but we were So, granted, I didn't see Russellpalooza, but that sounds like a charmer that I should
No,
go
thank
take a
God
look
you
at.
didn't. I think you would have been like, you know what? I think I'm going to be gone longer, you guys.
I wonder. This one was more like the disappointment, the angry grandpa, like I thought you'd be better, like that feel for Backlash, right?
That's
Not
fair.
so. That was more of that sort of like, now you've done really good work. What? All right. Well, I'm gonna go die now.
No, don't say that. Alrighty. So I want to give a little bit of preface before I let Papa Oso here talk about his stuff, right? So Sean and Matt, you have in the short time that you've known me, you know that I'm a big defender of NXT, and I love those NXT kids with all my little heart. The NXT crew, we love the NXT kids with all our heart. However, just like I am a lover of TNA and I will defend TNA until the day I die, they are not above scrutiny for me. And when I was giving the cards and reviewing all the pay-per-views for NXT and TNA to give to Will here, when I came across the card for what he picked as his worst pay-per-view of the year, I was like, oh my God, I forgot about that. I was not part of the review because I was on vacation, and I felt so bad for Will and Kilt and Adolfo, who had to sit through and do this review for me. So
it's your fault.
I mean, yes, I got, no pun intended, I did get the backlash from my NXT crew, but I made the mistake of watching it when I got home from my vacation, and then I was just like, I regret my life choices right now. But Will, why don't you tell us why NXT's The Great American Bash, which, mind you, was the event that happened in the same weekend as Evolution and Goldberg's retirement match and Saturday night's main event. So why don't you tell me why Great American Bash is your worst pay-per-view of the year?
Well, that's because NXT's The Great American Bash is the NXT equivalent to TNA's Emergence.
Oh my God.
I mean,
it was so bad.
The matches in this made no sense. I mean, honestly and truly, and I think I have said it multiple times, that if we could go back through time and make this event not happen, nobody would miss it.
WWE shot themselves in the foot by putting too many events in one weekend. Might I add, this was the same weekend that All in Texas was happening too. And I'm like, why are you doing this to me? There's too much wrestling to watch. And
it was awful. It was just awful.
awful.
The matches were subpar. I mean, not even, they didn't even look good on paper. And I was just like, ooh, okay. And the ones that I thought, oh, this one's good. This one could be pretty good. No. I mean, they were literally, it was all just sort of substandard and just.
Let me tell you, the only two matches that were good, in my opinion, for that one was Oba versus Yoshiki Inamura. And that's because Inamura is great. And I was like, how is it a match from, we have a wrestler from Pro Wrestling Noah in here to be the best thing of this thing? And honestly, I actually did like the Blake Monroe Jordan versus Fatal Influence match. But everything else was awful. Jasper Troy versus Javon sucked. Ricky versus Ethan was bad. I was mad because Soul versus, Izzy was not great because I love Izzy to death. But that was some rough. And then it was bad enough that those matches didn't live up. The fact that we had a whole contract signing segment with Joe and Mike and Trick for the title match at Slammiversary was ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck is this?
It was awful.
So bad.
It was awful.
Awful. All right.
I wish I could just wash my eyes out with bleach.
It was a rough go for sure. Before I get into mine, once again, continuing with the WWE branch of things, Jesse's worst pay-per-view for him this year was the Rumble. Rumble was not great for him. Again, the Rumbles were a little uninspired. The tag team match between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns on paper should have been great, but it was not. I was kind of disappointed in that match. And I completely forgot what the fourth match was for that one, but I was like, don't remember it. Don't care. All righty. I want to talk about why Clash in Paris was my worst pay-per-view of the year. So here's the thing. The way that I operate as a wrestling fan, right, is that I will call out the bullshit. If pay-per-view makes me mad because of horrible booking decisions, story writing, like, that's justified anger and frustration, right? what makes Clash in Paris for me my worst pay-per-view of the entire year, the worst thing for me as a wrestling fan is when a pay-per-view is boring. This pay-per-view was boring as all fuck to me. Because you had Roman and Bronson, which was fine. And honestly, it was everything after the match that set Bronson up in the path that we have seen him this year. So it's like, okay, everything else was so boring. The only match that I actually really enjoyed was the Donnybrook match between Sheamus and Rusev. That's the only match I cared about. Everything else was boring as fuck. And I was not having a good time with Clash in Paris. Now, it's frustrating to me. I get mad.
They did that Paris crowd a disservice with that show.
That's the thing that made me the most mad. The international crowds are some of the best things that, any company can do, right? So I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, y'all could have gave something better for this crowd, okay? So let me go through this, right? So again, Reigns, Bronson Reed, didn't care for the match. Everything afterwards was great. In fact, if I remember correctly, everything after the match took like 15 minutes too. I was like, why are we spending almost 45 minutes on this opening thing? Why? Then the Wyatt.
Don't worry, he stole his shoes. Was that the first time he stole his shoes?
I think that was the first time he stole the shoes, which was funny.
I love that.
But we took way too long. It did not need to be 20 minutes to get to that point. The Wyatt Six and the Profits should have been better, but it wasn't. I was so disappointed with that one. Poor Becky Lynch having to make Nikki Bella look good in that match for the Intercontinental Championship was so
Fix
bad.
your girl, Matt.
Oh my goodness. Again, Rusev and Sheamus is the only match I cared about with the good old-fashioned Donnybrook. Nobody cares about Cena and Logan Paul. I sure didn't, because fuck Logan Paul. And then the main event, I was just like, we all know Seth Rollins was not losing this title to Punk, Jay, or LA Knight. Like, I was so this pay-per-view was not fun for me. I was so mad. I was just like, I could have just slept in. I didn't even have to get up this morning to watch it, but I did because I run a podcasting empire and I regret all my life choices at this point. So yeah, that is why Clash in Paris is my worst pay-per-view of the year. Poor France. I hope that you get better pay-per-view next time. And that's it. We've finally reached the end of this podcasting. What a year it has been for 2025. I'm not going to keep us here too long. We can debrief afterwards for like a minute, but it is hella late, so I'm going to get all these boys up out of here. Sean and Matt, thank you so much for being here and being a part of this chaotic house of ours.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Awesome.
Great to meet you all here. We had a lot of fun.
It was fun watching another host stress over the timer. So, I'm glad I could help you bust your self-imposed time limit. So awesome.
It's all good. I know it's late, and I know. See, I have the privilege of having the next 2 weeks off, but I earned those 2 weeks off. But I want to get everyone out of here, so I do want to debrief. So nobody go anywhere. I promise it will be short. But from all of us here at BC WrestlePod, and also our friends here at If We Had the Pencil podcast, I would like to thank you so much for tuning into, all of our stuff in 2025. It's been a crazy year for us here at BC WrestlePod. We've had a lot of highs, we've had a lot of lows, but honestly, it has been a really fun, year in 2025. And I'm looking forward to 2026, not only with my crew, but to continue to make friends along the way and get to work more with people like Sean and Matt and Nick, who could not make it tonight, but more on that a little bit later.
And Pumpkin.
Yeah. And Pumpkin. Pumpkin is now the unofficial mascot for BC WrestlePod.
Oh, Pumpkin!
We're taking the dog. We're taking the dog, Sean. We're taking the dog.
Yeah, Pumpkin, that's my dog now.
Be like, it is mine now. No, but from all of us here at BC WrestlePod and our friends as well, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We have this whole entire week off, but you will see some of us next week for Defy and AEW World's End review. But until then, enjoy the holidays. We'll see you in the new year. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.